Hello, entertainment daily lovers. Welcome back. We are back with a brand new one. So much hot just going on the streets. Yo, pull up. Where are my entertainment daily lovers? Come on in. Let us talk. Let's gist. This gist is a hot. Welcome. If you are joining right now, I don't know if this is part three, part four, part five, part 10, part 1000, part 100, but anyways, come on in, let us talk. How is everyone doing today? I hope everyone is doing fantastically well. Good day, and I greet you according to your time from wherever you are watching me from. Thank you so very much for joining. God bless you all for coming in today. Join us. Let us adjust. The conversation continues because Nanny is doing a lot of expose and a lot is out on the street. Let's keep analyzing. Forget about what people are saying. They'll be writing to YouTube. And I go right and I go tire. You go right to YouTube, you go right to Google, you go right to everything, you go tire. Shoo? What is they play? Hmm? Better than them. Graham, you're welcome. Thanks so very much for joining today. How are you doing? Welcome, everyone. Let me quickly check our sound. I need to make sure that everything is good. Mhm. Before we get into this conversation, I know fish out. Okay. So our sound is great. Thank you so much for the thumbs up. I see. How are my kings and queens doing? How is everybody? Doing? It's been a while now. It's been few days. Okay, few days. Let me not say well. It's been few days. I've not been live here, but yes, I am back like I never left. Looking at the street they hot. They just they broke my peon. Peon. That's why they fight for my peon. Peon. They just they love it. Get them be me. Bombo clap. Why you say? Why grandpa? You just had your clock say baby. Come on, man, y'all. Wait. Okay. Pipe down. Entertainment daily. Pipe down. Right now, Hmm. Seriously, my head is like seeing the things that I have seen online and everything. I'm like, yo, what's popping? What's popping, man? Ah. All right. So welcome, everyone. Just trying to. Yo, sorry. Sonia Pink, happy Sabbath day to you too. How is everyone doing? Come on in. We need to talk. This gist. Everybody pull up. Did y'all see what I saw? Let me know. Okay. On a more serious note, how is everyone doing? I hope everyone is doing well. Good day from wherever you're watching me from. I hope that everybody's doing well. Okay. God, positive people, good people, classy people, straightforward people, the real truth tellers. Okay, those that call a spade, people that fight for justice. How is everyone doing? Graham said the internet is not a natural place. Just they abnormally there anyhow. What is going on? Is this what do we call this? Nemesis, karma, yo, what's that boomerang? Like it is everything. This thing is giving everything. So the one that came out and did the most, the one that came out and was running down his ex-wife, the one that had so much to say about his ex-wife, that is the very same person that is just is flying everywhere. And now all of a sudden, people now realize that they are going to be writing to YouTube. Who are they threatening? Is that even a threat? Did we go to people's private area to go dig up stuff? Did we go to your did we come to your home to dig up stuff that people are telling us that they're gonna be writing to YouTube? We need to stop all of this right now. Channel we created by ourselves. Mouth is our mouth we're using to talk. Stop what? When Mr. Korobidi was running his mouth all this while, these set of people did not think that they would say, this is just, hey, how do you use your own hand to invite this ant-infested firewood into your own home? Because that's exactly what happened. How this person brought in a nanny into his home, a nanny that he found on Tinder. Because let me not be saying a nanny, and people were like, okay, what's wrong in bringing in a nanny? It wasn't just a nanny, it was a nanny that was found on Tinder. Okay, so already this person, that whole story, when you're looking at it, it is just giving user, you know, like somebody to use, somebody to, you know. And little did he know that this whole thing would turn out the way this thing turned out. And look at the kind of things that our ears are hearing. Look at the kind of things our eyes are seeing. Look at the tea that Jeba is spilling. Jeba the nanny. Abi Jeba the ex-nanny of JD. Look at the tea. Hey, now wow, this life no balance. Wahala for who marry Oyibo. Not because I don't go see. Wahala. Seriously speaking, wahala for who go marry Muzungu. Wetin they play? Wetin they play? Oh my goodness. Hey, Graham said we have to wonder if it is normal or natural with all that's happening on here. Seriously, everybody is at this point, everybody is lost of word. Nobody knows what to say. Nobody knows what to expect. Like every but my question before we start even pulling up some stuff, the question I want to ask now is this man is really bold or something is really wrong with his head. You know, you cannot have so much cockroaches in your cupboard and you're the first person to come out and you are dragging your ex-wife for centuries. You don't want to stop. He just kept going and going and going and going and going, and to think that this amount of cockroaches is actually sitting pretty in his wardrobe, his cupboard. Eh? Oh, you like P. Diddy, allegedly. Let's be saying allegedly. Eh? Are you serious? Things are happening. Nanny that came and did the job of nanny and the job of everything. Like she was not just a nanny. I don't think it's fair that we call her nanny actually. Faye. Welcome, 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 sis. Welcome, Queen. Thank you so very much for joining us this evening. Everyone that just coming in, you are all welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. God bless you all. If it says, Sis Korra, good evening. I've been missing your live. I have not been live so much. Like sometimes I like yesterday I came on trends and I did a little bit there, and I came late about past 12 a.m. or so, if I'm not mistaken, about past 12 a.m. or 1 a.m. That's when I came live yesterday. So I did a bit of one. I wanted to do like quick 20 minutes or so, then move. So yeah, so that was really really late. Yeah. Okay. So hey. Okay, so there's a free TT still talking about. Oh my God, that's what we were discussing on that's what I was just telling Ife now. Yesterday live, that's what I was talking about. Like that lady does what's up? What's up with that very brief Zacchaeus? Like, what's up with that? That's what I call her, really. That wears oversized boots like Gulliver's Travel. With giant head like Hammerhead of Horror. Hey, run am in the building. Welcome, Queen. How are you doing today? How are you, Ron M? How you doing, Queen? Hope you're doing great. Welcome, welcome, everyone that is just joining. Welcome. God bless you all, my kings and my queens. You know, when I saw that stuff that very brief Zacchaeus did, that she with her head that is like that of Fagin. Who's read that book, Fagin? If you know who Fagin is, Oliver Twist. Fagin with the 5 strand of hair. But yet she has so much to say, running her mouth, laughing at Korra. Korra does not have hair. And then when you look at her, all you see is forehead, forehead. I don't know why her name is not Edward. She's supposed to be Edward. And yet she runs her mouth the most, talking nonsense on her page, thinking she has arrived. Yet her friend is being exposed for the Betty's home and all of the innuendos that is all of his rendezvous in Portugal and everywhere, allegedly. In fact, Episode, thank you, sis. God bless you and and your loved ones. Oh my God. Let's say hi. I finally caught you live. I've been working out, really able to use YouTube. JD drama never ends. I think he's met his match in the Nanny. Serious karma. She was his everything. Body seriously, body made bodyguard. Uh, just name it. Everything. She just wasn't a nanny to this person. And the gods that this man has, like I'm like, yo, what is really going on? Okay, let me be pinning the comments. Let me start from the beginning. I love putting the comments on screen so everybody see what I'm talking about. I was just talking and I didn't put the comments on screen. So yesterday, that's what we discussed on Trends with Octavia. That's my other channel, and we're talking about this Frida that has huge mouth with her forehead like what I don't know. That's what we were discussing yesterday. Briefly, we came on and we had that conversation over on the other, because there's always so much. So sometimes I try to just split them up, talk about something else here in Entertainment Daily, and talk about some of that stuff relating to this, the same case, the Korra and JD's situation. So seeing the things that Jeba is spilling, Jeba tried though. I don't know how many people that we know that okay, this was not like a professional thing where he went on the sites where you get professional nannies, got a nanny, and then everything. But still, like, she agreed to do the job of a nanny, and at the same time, she was like a girlfriend, she was like a partner, a wife, she was his babysitter. When I was reading the other post where she was talking about, and then the cleansing people came to do the bath stuff, and they were saying take care, and I'm like, yo, what do you mean by take care of? Her job was to take care of the children, not to take care of a full-grown human being. You understand? Like, what do you mean take care of and make sure the person is not stressed? Is that a job you give to somebody? A full adult that wants to be stressed will be stressed. And somebody like JD that never rests, he's always going to and fro like the like the devil by seeking for whom to destroy. He's always looking for what to do, recruiting people to go and hate on his ex-wife, looking for who's going to do. Like, he's always up to something. So that's the kind of person that you're telling that somebody should take care of him and he should not stress. Jeba really tried. And the fact that she would even be saying that, JD would be treating her bad and she would just try to explain things, and yet she was still doing everything. And he had the guts to come out and tell us that, oh, she stole his $7,000 camera. This man should have been quiet. How can you know that this person knows all these kind of things about you? And she already offered you NDA that we already discussed here, saying she's not going to say anything. And I think if JD did not come out and talk about that $7,000 listen that she stole and tried to call her cray cray and whatnot, she wouldn't have even started this her series. And now she has a storytelling page already on Facebook. It's going down and getting down. Getting down. It is going down because Jeba is no longer. She doesn't want to hear. Okay, people are saying whatever they want to say. She does not even care. If it said the brief one has a multiple personality disorder, even sure I've read her a lot. She is just weird. That human being is weird. Everything that comes out of her mouth is just complete nonsense. Like, I'm like, what is even going on with you? You see yourself as a high class person, yet you're doing the most. Ron F said, do you think he's really taking it in the Ron M, if you ask me, now who I go ask? The matter where you the see so it when it starts. No be me go talk e heavy for mouth. If you they ask me, now who I go ask? Yeah, now who I go ask? Now I'm singing an Afrobeat song from Omaomi, a Nigerian artist called Omaomi, right? Yes, I think it's she. So if you ask me, who am I going to ask? See, this is what the song says. Like this situation on ground. Who can tell? Only him. Only JD can tell. And we're waiting for him to speak. He's there posting about something else that his headless chickens are there cheering him on for. In my mind, Oga, come here and talk. You used to post all those your fake receipts that are not receipting. There's no time he posts any receipt that the receipt is receipting. His receipts are always very real. Give me a second. Let me fix my fire. Let me be multitasking here. It's been raining. It's cold here, so I have my fireplace going. Check my wood. And okay, back to what we're talking about. So Ron M, seriously, anybody can do anything, and mostly full-blown adults. Some people, you can't even judge a book by its cover. Forget all those smooth talk. This one, I run this way. People can tell you this is what they do, but the other things they do when all lights are out, when there's no daylight, no anything, nobody can see behind closed doors. Nobody knows. Only him can tell us the truth at this point, or people that have been very close to him. They are the ones that can actually come out and tell us, because Nanny has spoken. If you notice one thing, I feel like this JD had the guts to come out and call Jeba a thief that was ransacking his home, took his camera, whatnot, because he's been able to do these things with so many of those headless chickens that are people of color that supports him, right? He did with Miriam. He did the same thing to Lolo. He did the same, like he's been doing these type of stuff, calling them scammers, calling them thieves, even though these people came out and helped him. Like they stood for him. Lolo was doing live stream back to back, back to back. That woman really supported him. They rallied around for donations for him. Miriam was using her expertise, teaching people how to go to Korra's videos to collect evidence. Like they worked for Jade. Like that's one thing you cannot take away from those wicked women. They worked for JD with Frida, all of them. But how did he pay them back? With complete disrespect, like they are totally nothing. But he didn't do the same thing to the likes of Crystal and what's her name? Kim. Yes, he didn't like Kim, but how many times did he really come out to call Kim names? And those other Muzungus that supports him that they maybe fell out, how many times did he come out to call them names? The way he came out and called these people scammer and was telling people to avoid these people, belittling these long mouth and Awolaya and the other ones. So he knows that these people, and for some reason, best known to this set of people, and I feel like it's because they've done things with him that they are afraid that if he comes out, it might not be good for any one of them. So when he does these things, they just close their mouth and let it slide. So for him, he became very comfortable knowing that I can treat this, this set of people this way. But where he now miscalculated was when he decided that, oh, okay, after everything Jeba knows about me, for the fact that I did it to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, to all how many that he's done it to, and none of them really came back and challenged me. The only thing they did is insult me, insult my mother, insult my family, call us fanboy, come, those kind of things. They just say all these things that really doesn't scratch his skin because he's heard those things before, right? But that's what emboldened this man to come out and say what he said about this person, Jeba. But what he did not understand is the fact that Jeba will not just sit pretty and like, okay, call me a thief, and I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to smile with you and act like everything is well, even though I was silly to support you all throughout, even when the red light was there. Since you've already started messing up my reputation and everything, and remember, for working with what Jeba said, that she wanted them to be quiet. So if she goes on with this job, she will have a clean slate. So she's able to get more jobs in the future, or she wants to open a business where she'll be working with kids or whatever. But JD could not just respect that and decided to call her. Who wants to bring a babysitter that is a thief into their home where you have valuables and whatnot? You're gonna be at work and this babysitter is gonna be at home watching your kids or whatnot, and then every time you come back something is missing. But JD doesn't care how he tarnishes someone, because that's something he did to his ex-wife all throughout this year. So he's very comfortable. um Just 2 inch nail said, this is the Jeba really show the pig to Bergo, where I've not seen it. I've not seen any tool yet, because I've been on her this is Facebook. I'll still pull up her Facebook now, but I've not seen any tool. But who knows? Who knows? If I said nonsense, honestly, absolutely nonsense. Do these people go back and listen to themselves? How can someone be this stupidly stupid? Ron said, "Is this the same camera?" Dwight and a hand. This is Ron M. This is a good question. Is it the same camera that he alleged that that big Korra stole? Or what? How did he even tell that story? Now I forgot. Where he said either Korra took the camera or hid the camera and was telling people that she lost her camera or something. But he told us that who knows if it's the same camera, because remember when he was telling that story, he said he somehow magically found it in the attic and brought it down. So I don't know if that's still the $7,000 camera that he is actually alleging that what's her name, Nanny Jeba tried to steal. He lost the store. I mean, he lost the camera the same way he got it. But Jeba said she didn't even take, his camera. He said she was ransacking through his boxes, his socks. I'm like, yo, JD, you don't have that kind of money now. Well, you're not like, let's say, Kanye West, Jay-Z, all those kind of people that will be wearing designer things where somebody will ransack their wardrobe, and you know that you'll be pulling out with designer bags, designer things like that, boxers, socks, shoes. So Jeba ransacking your boxes and your all those things. What's the thing she's looking for in there? His story just was not adding up. Like, yo, you don't have those kind of valuable stuffs. But yeah, JD will say anything to make everybody feel like yes. But what surprised me most is how comfortable JD was when he was saying this thing that he was saying. I think because he never thought that Jeba will ever respond to him. That's one thing that for him is like, it's not going to happen, and he just sat down pretty and said all of these things. But now that Jeba has started, he's acting like he's not seeing what is going on. So let me quickly go to his page and see. Okay, so one day ago he posted this where JD that knows how to come out and talk and explain himself away. This has been trending since. He has not said anything about it, or something like this is trending. He's refusing to address it. Okay, so he posted something about all of a sudden he's coming with his educational content. He said training session with with Beverly Hills top esthetician. I'm demonstrating techniques I have created to enhance facial symmetry and beauty, perfect for red carpet events. Hashtag beauty tips. Um, and that's what he posted one day ago. 2 days ago, he posted this where he said, surround yourself with positivity and watch your life transform in amazing ways. So you know that if you surround yourself with positivity, but for 2 years or 3 years now, you have been giving negativity to your ex-wife back to back, back to back, back to back. Now that Nanny Jeba has arrived, Nanny Jeba learned from the professional, you, Mr. Negativity, Mr. Come out and bash people, Mr. Come out and tell story that will make somebody look bad and tarnish somebody's image. She learned from you for the 7 months, be 8 months or 6 months, because you never agree. She said 8 months, you said 7, be 6 months. So let's say 6 to 8 months, somewhere around there, that this nanny was with you. She learned very well from you, and she's giving you back your own medicine. And all of a sudden, he's here talking about positivity, and his headless chickens are here cheering him on. Come out and explain yourself, because you know how to run your mouth and say so much about how somebody's kpekus is named after a nightclub in Nigeria and this one. And oh, God, come and tell us about the oil that allegedly you were Jeba was helping your behind, allegedly. Hey, hey, hey. Mm. So Ishmael said, what are they? Did they live in? Do I know? It's not how he told the story. He said, Korra said her cameras or their camera was stolen just to lie to people, a bit to deceive people, to give her money. And that's how she lies. You know, anything to tarnish her image. He will say all these things, and then they ask him for receipt or explain more. And the more he explains, you know that he's lying. That's JD for you. He tells you a story, and when you press him for more, he continues talking and he starts rambling. So that's what he said, that it was how many months later he was looking for something or trying to put something away in the attic, and then he found it hidden up there because they hardly go there, up there. So he saw the camera there. So now we don't know whether that's the same $7,000 camera that he's now saying that Jeba stole or tried to steal. So, well, I think did they live in apartment? This two, this two can lie. He's even afraid those lie leaves be closed around those lies sometimes. Seriously. Graham said he thinks she was like, "Hey, Korra don't talk a lot, but she never said anything, like she only just came out, explained her this in her book, wrote about her life, explained what she went through, and that's it. I believe she knows a lot that if she would speak, if Korra was as messy as JD was, and Korra would open her mouth and speak, Jerry would delete all his social media and he will go into hiding. If she would match his energy, do you understand? He will go into hiding because she was married to that man for how many years again? What is it, 4 or 5 years or something? So you will know things that when you open your mouth to speak, people will be shocked. And you will have evidence of, you know. So when you start putting those things out, but not them, Muzungus, they're capable of anything. If you think it, they can do it. But and I think these things also help to kind of make JD to be so comfortable, because Korra would only come out and defend when she needs to defend herself, say this thing didn't happen, see what happened, this and that, and that's it. So he just got so comfortable. He did the same to Lolo and Miriam and the rest of them. They still continued to support. They still continue to support him. So for him, he just feels like, okay, I can do these things, and these women, they will never, they will never turn against me. So he continued on that part. Ron M said, this man whom his nanny had to make but giving beauty tips. The fact that those people that came for that cleansing, I mean, what did she think? We'll go, I'm gonna when I leave from his page, and I'm gonna let me just read the comments, and I'll pull up Jeba's Facebook page. When they came for cleansing, they're telling somebody to, in fact, a lot of things. So we're just trying not to just say some things. But JD, come and explain yourself. Ron M said, funny, the camera was found in his house after she had moved out. Well, he said she was the one that hid it up there. And because they hardly go to that part of the home, then he didn't see it. Then it was later on that he found it. Who knows if he was the one that hid it, you know, and said it was her, because everything is always Korra's fault. Everything is, nothing is JD's fault. He never did anything wrong. Never. Because throughout his storytelling, JD never said for once that, oh, this that happened, well, I started. No, everything, it was Korra that started. Everything was her. Thinking that he's talking to people that don't have head. Everybody will just magically believe you because you said that. So JD is not talking about all of these things that Nanny Jeba is saying. But he's the one that was quick to come out and sit down and do that long live stream where he was explaining how the other lady that was also from Haiti told him this, told him that Jeba did this, Jeba smoked weed, Jeba did not do the other one. And there's nothing he didn't say. Jeba was talking about weed, Jeba is this, she's and she wrote weed, the people. He went to his room showing that mirror, showing what was written on the mirror and everything. Now Jeba is talking about something that you should come and debunk or what? He acts like he cannot see. So that's his last post. He did not talk about anything relating to what is going on right now, because I believe he won't there, because he didn't think that Jeba would go this far. But you know what? I feel like Jeba is already feeling like you've already messed up this thing for me, to an extent. People will come out and see that, oh, I'm the nanny that it was alleged that I stole the camera, even though he didn't post any evidence. And he didn't remember, that's not the only evidence he showed. He also flipped over his camera, his phone, to show his computer screen, where he was alleging that Jeba somehow took his credit card and got his password. I don't know how Jeba was able to go into your head and find out what is the code for your card to go and use it if you didn't give the permission or give that information to the person to use. You know how somebody might say, okay, take my card and do this transaction, or take my card, help me do this, or do this relating to the kids. So he must have given Jeba his card and asked Jeba to use it for something, but he was trying to make it look like she stole the camera, she ransacked his wardrobe, I don't know, trying to steal some boxers and socks. And then she also was spending with his card. When people called him out and said, this is not adding up. From what we see, Jeba has not been here for a while, and people could compare from, I don't know, Jeba's post or whatever to show that Jeba was not there. So how come Jeba was the one spending with your card, allegedly? So this Jade is he's always that way, always trickish, always cunning, like never straightforward. Twin Nail said, this this guy is very indifferent, but he's embarrassed by all these exos Jeba has been given. Hashtag Bravo George this thinks that all black women will turn the other chick like Korra has. Nah, bro. He really got very comfortable with doing this to our people, because these ones kept quiet, didn't say, and one can understand that when you're going through divorce, there are people that don't really want to talk about, they just don't want it to drag. So we can kind of look at Korra's case and say, okay, if Korra would be as messy as JD was, this is going to drag for even 10 years and beyond. There was people, everybody, look how long everybody is still talking. The internet, their names are still out there. If JD had kept quiet the way Korra was just quiet and Nancy was begging for privacy, people should respect them. Nobody, all these things wouldn't be out here. We won't be talking about them now. Everybody would have even forgotten that those two were married. Except if something come up about in the future where their kids are getting married or something, they're like, oh yeah, okay, But I would have but that's not JD. Ron M said he needs to stop. He needs to stop. California has strict labor laws. You see, he doesn't care about what he says about the next person. But he gets angry when people talk about him. He's angry that it's going to affect his job or what you did, what you said. But when you're doing it, you don't know that you're affecting that person's own job. What you're doing is the same way you ruined everything for your ex-wife. The same way you're ruining things for all these other women that supported you, that you people somehow fell out. Also, they also have jobs. They also have something that they're doing. Okay. So why do you think that it's only when people talk about you, but you felt comfortable sitting on a live stream running your mouth, and now people want to say Jeba came in with an ulterior motive? Well, JD too went into his marriage or relationship with Korra. He had a motive. Immediately he saw Korra, I feel like his brain was just telling him use somebody that he's going to use as a servant. So why do you people feel like you want to blame Jeba? He met his match in Jeba. That's what I feel like, and I think this is just karma. That's what Jeba is for JD, because he's been doing the most. He's been doing the most, and everybody has just kept quiet. And I kept saying it. I said one day JD will meet his match. The same thing I was saying about all these his supporters, all these evildoers that all the time they are insulting Korra, manipulating, trying to destroy her business, doing everything, run her name down. And like one day you will come across somebody that will be as messy as you are, and even worse. In fact, if your own is to lay down on the floor and be that dirty, this person will go and lay in the mud like a pig and roll with you. There is always somebody that is messier than you are. You might think that, oh, my head is so hot, I'm the most ras person. Where your own rasness is ending, that's where some people's own is starting from. So JD thought that he could come out and tarnish her image when she's planning, oh, this is the business she wants to do. Well, now Jeba too has decided that, okay, since your job is to tarnish my image, let's play. And now he wants to pretend that he doesn't know what he's going to say. It doesn't work that way. Okay, come out and explain yourself. Did Jeba help you from the behind or not? Allegedly, come out and explain. Except for the fact that this Pinky didn't come out to call Crystal out, which is glaring. Racial bias, and our Nigerian women are rooting for him. Still, is absolutely heartbreaking. It is. It is. And one thing that is pissing me off about these our Nigerian women slash African women and any other person of color. I see some people are from the Caribbeans and other parts, but they're also people of like Jeba that is from Haiti. Um, these people that are people of color that are supporting JD don't know who JD is. Not be everything then they talk, man. One thing that people fail to understand is people forget so fast their history. Just because some things has been painted and sugar coated and made it look like it's now, nothing is different. Nothing changed. They're just playing the game in a different way. And with somebody like JD, it is obvious. But some of them had to go close, like Jeba. They had to go so close, allow themselves to be used to discover. And that's why the thing is paining me, because I feel like Korra is already there for you to see. Like, if this man could do what he did, what makes you think? What makes you think that you are any different when you look exactly like Korra? Both of you are the same color. Forget that. Okay, we know that officially we look different, but in their eyes, we all look the same. That's it. There's something I always say here. I'm always very, because if somebody does something, immediately just they see people of color like, oh, they think it's you. Do you understand? I remember the other day something like, and I was calling on the phone. Are you in this place? This thing happening? I said, I've not even left my house today. How am I in that? They said they saw you. I said, I have not left my home today. So imagine if something had happened, if that whoever was that black person that they saw where they saw, if that person had done something bad, so I would just be in my house jejely, and they would just come and arrest me, thinking that I was the one that they saw where they saw, when my foot has not even stepped out of my home that day. Because we just look the same in their eyes. So they just feel like if they can treat one, but they can do everybody. And that's JD. Does not like these people, does not care about anything that concerns us, Everything he's seen is people that he will use the way his ancestors did, but in a, he's just gonna play this period, this time around. They play the game in a different way, and most of them come with this their nonsense marriage. In fact, make a no vex. Come with their rubbish marriage just to use to use our people. Now God go punish them. Ronan said if JD was fine with that, Crystal, it was exactly never. JD never condemned, not for what he was even covering up. I told her to this, I told her to that. But when Miriam did, Crystal and Miriam, who forget the fact that Miriam is a very terrible person, Miriam is a very terrible woman. But let's look at it this way. Put Miriam, put Crystal, these two people, who has sense? That Crystal, that her head is all smoke that is coming out from her head. That one can't do anything reasonable. But JD never. Miriam used her expertise and everything, building case, even though he didn't win. Because you cannot win. You're a liar. You're trying to manipulate the system. You cannot win. But Miriam tried her best to build that case, and her time, spent her money. He was even threatening he was going to buy himself. She was putting her own mental health in, on the line to work for him. What did she get at the end? Look how he spoke. He spoke about, about her. Give me a second. Let me put a bigger wood on it. So my fire will last. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, I'm back. The weather is cold if you're just joining, so have the fireplace going. I have to put woods. Island life. Okay, so this man never thought to call out the one that came to his home few times, brought in what and what, but the one that worked out so hard, collecting evidence. Do you know what it means to go to Korra's live stream to collect evidence? Korra streamed several times. You can't even catch up. If you're telling story about Korra, you can't catch up. You can't. Like when Korra talked about her new business, I didn't see it immediately. It was later on that I was knowing that Korra just launched a business. And then I saw the review that people started with the bad review. So imagine the amount of time that Miriam put in and the work. But JD came out and rubbished Miriam. But the Igbo smoker, Crystal, that one way head be like person with the Chris. He never for once. So you will notice how he treats the Muzungus, people that look like him, differently from how he treats those other ones that don't look like him. But yet, these people went in. And that's why when I see the way he treats them, I just laugh and I say, good for you, including the Jebba too. That's what I said, good for you. Now he has called you a thief. He's called you a weed smoker and everything else in between. Things that he will never do to the other Muzungus that didn't even do as much as. Imagine you taking care of his kids. Look at how that home looked. Cleaning that home, organizing, arranging. The next minute he scatters, he eats, he won't wash it. This is the fridge, he won't arrange. Nothing. You will do all of that. And at the same time, you have to oil his behind and put some, in his behind, taking care of him and the whatnot. But yeah, this is allegedly. Then this is how you get treated. Coming online to call you a thief after somebody help you to oil your nyash. Allegedly. Let's be saying allegedly. But yet you want to run the person down and destroy her this thing, reputation and everything, and you think your own will be intact. Ron M said she had no motive. She was meeting a man on a dating site. She did not contact him to be a nanny. Who gets a nanny from a dating site? And like people, they just want to make it look like, oh, so why was she filming? Why was she filming? Something that is as weird as JD, why wouldn't you film? Tell us now. If she didn't have all this evidence, who will believe what she's saying? Because when she would talk and JD would, Those of us that have sense will know that there is an atom of truth if this person has ever been to JD's home. But a lot of people will not want to believe if she will not present any evidence. And now, because she's showing evidence, when he was posting receipt showing his screen and saying that it was his card that she was using to spend around and whatnot, even though he didn't pay her, from what she was saying, allegedly he really didn't pay her. He was owing her money and whatnot. So what did I tell you before? Yeah, they will change that. They did. Ron M did. And the fact that some of our people is yet to catch up to it is there. It's right there. It is right there. It is so clear. And this one, because it is possible not to know, because they are good. There is something, I don't know, but I think there is something in there's something in their DNA, there's something in their blood, there is something. The wickedness it is there even before they form in the womb. Even those ones that are pretending to be very good, they all have that thing, that like just teeny weeny tiny little bit. It is always in there. They have it. Sometimes you need to really, close one eye and look with the other, just one eye, to notice that thing. And these people are just running. When you go to his Facebook now, like this post I just read to you people now, let me see if I open it now, you will see how many are women. And if we're looking from their profile photos, how many are women of color? Wait, where is that post now? You see this one that he says, surround yourself with positive, let me see, 668 comments. So I will just count from the profile photos I see here. So if I'm looking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. This one is this thing. I can't say, but let me see from the name. That okay, we can say so 16. One white woman here. All these ones 16 I've been counting are people of color from their profile photo. I'm looking at 17, 18, 19, and women 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 5, 26, another Muzungu. So 2 Muzungu, 26 people of color, women, 2 Muzungu I've seen, 3 Muzungu I've seen. Then we counted 26 before, right? People of color, 27, another Muzungu here, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. This one does not have a photo. It has like this same nature. So that's 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 1 Muzungu, 37, another Muzungu, 38. So we have less than 10 Muzungu now from roughly what I'm counting, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46. These are dogs. 47, 1 Muzungu, 48, 49 Muzungu. Okay, then 50, 51. So you see how many people of color are following this person that his true colors is obvious already. But we still have people that think that this person is worthy of their support. Seriously, if like seriously, when you look at these things and you see and even from the kind of things, the kind of words that comes out of JD's mouth, that people that are close to him have actually said, how is it that we still have this amount of our people rooting for this person? It is different if this person is genuine and straightforward. We will say, okay, support who you're supporting. But with all the red flags and everything you see, you're still there to support. And whew, it is well. Ron M said, the B people, No, they have a. Do you think I feel like most of them don't even know. They do it and they don't realize that that is what they are doing. Our barrister is in the building. Sorry, I'm looking at the comments from up. Oyoyo's World. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so very much for joining. How are you doing? You know, Ron M, I feel like some of the that are doing it, they don't even realize what they're doing. You will hear the kind of words, because look at the brief one in Minnesota that's doing deport Korra from here. We don't want her here. We is you and who? We is you and who in a country like that you live in. Even the black Americans, they never recognize. Now you will come from Africa, then go recognize. Your brain, they work. Like you just look at some of them when they talk and you're like, are you bad? Are you out of your mind? Are you blind? The people that are there that they're supposed to recognize and treat nicely, those are the people that they're still battling to find their own place. And you, we come from motherland there. You're the one championing that Korra should be deported. We don't want you here. Inside your mind, when they call America, you too, you follow. Yeah, you never know anything. So that's one thing that will make you understand that some of these people are just living in la la land where they really think that they are different from the next person that looks exactly like them. They think that the way these people will treat one person, they will not treat them that way because they think that they are so special or they baptize themselves and they're now like alien, like they don't see them as now what really. Mm. If you said run, oh yes, I think so. Just to prove a point. Yeah, these people is just, in fact, it is embarrassing. The big women want to be the next Korra, but what is the thing? What is and the only thing, I keep saying it. The only thing that I think most of these women are chasing JD for is the looks. That's what I think. Like when he sprays a little bit of water under his hair, he brushes it to the side, and then he talks. He kind of picks his words and talks calmly, like a very quiet gentleman. They give us LGBTQ vibe. Nothing wrong with LGBTQ, but if you're LGBT, just tell us you are, so we know you are. And then when you're talking like that, we know that. Just identify as one if you are. So I feel like that's one thing that makes most of these be people to look at him, because in their mind, wow, that's a catch. If you even read some of their comments, the kind of comments that they drop on his page, you will notice that it's kind of flirty. And I'm like, you're on our age and I still they go online, they go flirt with a person like JD. Are you blind? Somebody that treats women the way he does, you think you're special? You're still a woman. The same thing the other woman has, the same thing you have. So don't think that even though if you think you have money more than Korra, or you're taller than Korra, or you're chubbier than Korra, or your boobs are huger than Korra's, or your nyash is more giant, that's going to make you different from anything. You're still going to get exactly the same treatment, the same way he treated when he's ready to toss you out. That's what he's going to do. And we've seen how he's dealt with all these other people. You know. So, look at Emma Braxton. A big celebrity who has money and should have self-esteem. Look at how she allowed that man to treat her. She's owning a that was denying her. One thing with these people, they are hmm, uh, I'm just trying to choose my word carefully, because at the end of the day, even this app self now then get them. You understand? You say the truth, but they have their way. You understand? These people, I feel like when they approach our people, the things they tell us and their real intention is far from each other. But they try their best to woo our people. But I think the number one thing that comes to their mind is use. Because one thing I have noticed that is common with them, and go do your research, is when they marry our people, you have kids together, immediately the first issue you people, first problem you people have, they start looking for a way to tag you a mad person. All the while, they were love bombing you and everything. You didn't have mental problem. The first thing they threaten you with is to take your kids from you. That's the first thing they will tell you, that you will never see your kids. And that's what we saw JD trying to do so much. This. Another thing they try to do is finances. They hate that you will even, in fact, even if people are even praising you, it is paining them. They always want to be the center of attraction. They also be on top. They want to be everything. It should be about them, 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 them. So the first thing they would do if they are married to, you people know what we're talking about between Korra and JD. So I don't even need to be using those white or B word, but you know what I mean. The first thing they're threatening you is if you have kids with them. It makes it even worse for you. Then finance. But even before they attack finance, they will first of all tell everybody that cares to listen that you have mental problem. And they are very good in gaslighting. Hey God, they will poke you. Nobody will see that's this thing that they used to poke you. But instead, everybody will see the reaction. And the next thing they do is to point. They say, look, look, look. Immediately after they poke you, as you react, that's what they do. And they will keep poking you. They will keep doing things that will make you to do this until they are able to prove. And as they are doing that, they are recording you. These people then be winch self they learn work where them they. But yet we have people supporting. So one is so bad with W people. Tema was with, it has multiple people. And anyway, he has not married one of them. He's sleeping with them, creating a single mothers. They always know what they want to do. These set of people, they always know what they want to do. I'm telling you, they know exactly what they want to do. But when they come in, they always sweet talk and just act like normal human being. And I think, some people used to say, but why, mostly when you talk about like people from motherland and whatnot, it's like the culture, like there are certain things that's why people say something. I'm like, there are certain things that Africans don't lie about. Like you don't come out lying. Like when it comes to the way marriage is seen and respected and whatnot, who plans to come into this thing with lies? Who starts something like a relationship that this person you're looking to marry, and that's what they will come for, to come and marry you, for you to have kids with them, and this and that and that, and then toss you away. Because you know what, with this set of people, one thing with them that is very common. No, look, we all have our weird side, including people from motherland, but I feel like the weirdness that is coming from these people, their own is on a different level. I swear down, it's on a different level. So one thing that most of them want to do is have you from motherland come in to save that picture. This picture perfect. They like to present this perfect picture, present what they are not. They are not anything close to that thing they are presenting. They are showing you outside. So they want to get this women from motherland, have kids with you, and then when they are ready to toss you away, so they can now go back to that their real lifestyle. That one that is very weird. That those things that they do that they can never say in public because people's head will spin. They've already had their kids. If anything happened, they have people that carry their name to the next generation and whatnot. So for them, that part is already secured. So now it's time to toss you out, make you look like the crazy one, say all manner of stuff so people will judge you. That's when I look at you judging Korra and saying that, I'm like, you all don't know half of anything. You don't know half of anything, because if you know half of what is really going on, they will beg you to go to his page. You won't even go. Just go to his page. Don't comment. Don't say anything. Just go there. You won't even be able to stay there 5 seconds if they will open that person's head and tell you the kind of things that is inside and how he sees them that are there rooting for him. So yes, Tema's stole her credit card and was using to pay. Pay for his new. Really? Wow. She found out when her credit card company contacted her. The man got, oh boy, on the internet claiming Tema was a. See, wow. You see, these people, they know what they are doing. They know what they are doing. But the thing is, no matter how you try to call people's attention to what is going on, like try to explain, there are people that will never believe you. There are people that, as you're explaining, they think you're just lying or you're just hating, because that's what a lot of people think, that people are just hating on JD. What is there to hate about anybody? Like, that is it not too stressful? Nobody hates it. Even JD, with all his stupid behavior, who's gonna waste their time to go and be hating on someone? Do you know what it takes to hate someone? Who wants to waste their energy on that nonsense? You know. But this is what we see. Let me pull up Jeba's and let's see. Last Jeba posted. Okay. Okay, so I think Jeba was joining someone's live, because someone here said, hey fam, guess who is our guest? So it seems like Jeba is jumping on people's live stream. He said Jeba was our guest tonight live. Jeba will be joining us 40 minutes. So I guess this will be on the person's page. Maybe Jeba is spilling something over that, because the person is saying that Jeba will be joining them live. Let's see. A second. Guys, oh god. Story time with Jiba. I'm trying to see. He's there. If I go and start thinking, I will get that. He said he's planning. He's a comedian, is what he is. Yeah, he said he speaks slowly, but holds the big stick. So whenever he wants to, when he was asking, when he was allowed to bring whenever he's coming online. Okay, so let me give shout out to this person. I'm seeing this person for the first time, and it's because Jeba also shared the post from this person. Her name is Nkem Ofo. I hope that she was not on the other side before now. So Jeba was on her live stream, so that's what I'm playing now for us to listen together. Let's see what is being discussed. Gonna say he talks slowly. So shout out to Nkema for this interview with Jeba. When he draws them and they start telling them a lot of whatever, all the lies he was saying. Please, let me know if you people can hear. Please.
So on the London attack, I will say I don't know anything about that, but I was there when I guess when all that stuff transpired and like the video came out, and he was obviously following that very closely, and he's like, oh, like of course now everybody's gonna think I did it. And I mean, my true opinion is that man is too cheap to pay anyone to do any job. Like even if it's like that, we found that it's for the newcomers. We know we've been saying this all along. You know, when you come out, when others comes out after dealing with him, let me tell you, you know what he did to Lolo. Well, I understand. Well, these like. Even if something like this is going on, I don't think the nanny would know. But this is the second time I've seen somebody asking Jeba about that London attack, the Korra's London attack, if JD knows anything about it. Even if he knows, he's not going to tell someone like Jeba or any of these women that were coming to his home. Like, it's just going to be if he knows anything. And secondly, I feel like when people say he's too cheap to pay anyone to do something like that, when you've been able to sell hate,
then you've already gotten to the point where you'll be getting jobs done without paying people, because you've already sown that seed of scorn in their heart. Like they see this woman as a very terrible person, that's how they see Korra. So there are people that will be willing to do anything for free just because of how you have painted this person. And that goes for anybody. Just start bad mouthing one person. Every time you talk bad mouth the person, bad mouth, there's a way you will say something to like the person's mind will just like, yo, is this person that horrible? Without even hearing the person's side of the story. So there are people that will be able to do anything, but let's hope that someday the truth about who did that stuff will come out. But I feel like even if JD is not aware, indirectly, because of the kind of things he has said and the way he has described his ex-wife, there are people that doesn't like her. Then they will now couple that with the fact that they feel like she doesn't dress properly, she doesn't cover up, always dancing and shaking her booty, job done for free without payment or anybody soliciting anything. Yeah, that's just what I think.
There's a lady called Lolo Tokyo. She was a foster girl for his age, but he collected the ghost money for 18 months for him and all that. There's a woman called Abolowo that was there recruiting women all over to do dirty for him behind the scenes. But after the whole thing happened, what did he do? He came on live and called the woman that she is a scam alarm. She's scam because in his mind he didn't remit all the money.
Okay, so this is a lady explaining to Jeba.
Before you continue, let me take this. Then Mr. Korra dropped a point. He said, which is true. He always says why he didn't put his stars on. But then he was trying to make people stop giving Korra. Korra is more resilient. You need to learn something else from her. I keep telling you, go live. At the moment you have 2.5K followers, you can go live. You can go live and they can give you stars. They can give you performance bonuses for reaction. So you can just do in the morning, go live. Every little help. Because at the time, people were given one particular, even when they were still good together, he keep telling her, oh, no, I want to make him a billionaire, that stars, millionaires don't get by giving star, blah, blah, blah. And then one particular live award on Korra's live show, she was giving 500,000 stars by her fans. That equated to $5,000. But both started trying to, because every time it comes, oh, I can never ask for stars. That will make me a beggar.
I want to say something. There's a reason why I want everybody to listen to this. This person talking to Jeba is also a person of color. I hope that all those people learn one thing: that look at the person they were supporting, but at the end of the day, Jeba is still the person. This Jeba now that is exposing JD is still the same person that served restraining order to Korra, a woman like you, a person of color like you. But today, look at the people that I cause. Jeba has been complaining that she's ruined her credit, she doesn't have money. Even JD was mocking her that he's going to maybe even sue her, and she doesn't even have money to get a lawyer or anything, get an attorney or anything. But look at the people that are encouraging Jeba. When Jeba went to Let's Talk About It with Amora's live stream, what did Let's Talk About It with Amora do? Amora gave it a shout out, told people to support. And now I'm seeing this in Came. This in Came off. I'm seeing in Came for the first time too. In Came is also a woman of color, explaining to Jeba that Jeba should do more, go live more, even if she's drinking tea, whatnot, so she can monetize her page, she can start making money. Because look at JD now, laughing at the same person that helped to take care of your kids. You didn't pay properly, took care of you, took care of your home for 7 months. You came out laughing that you will sue her because she doesn't have money. That's how you were thinking you'll be able to sue Korra and mess Korra up and deport her, because you were thinking that because you're the Muzungu, you're going to make more. But when you're not God, you're not God. That's one thing. These Muzungus are always quick to laugh you and mock you with finances. But they don't know that there's difference between people of color and Muzungus, because at the end of the day, when somebody needs help, there will be, when you cry out and you call on your people, like, look at what I'm going through, look at my present situation, there are people that will help you. There are sisters, there are queens and kings that stands up and say, we will not let our queen or our king go down, we would help. I hope people learn and know what you're doing. At the end of the day, now your own people go help you, not be those ones who get long nose.
It will pull out my ethic strings. it will change the dynamics of my relationship with my fans, blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, while he's saying this, Lolo was on her page doing GoFundMe
For him.
Lola was on her page doing subscribers only for him.
Wow.
Saying that,
these are Black women volunteering for this?
Oh my God. Hundreds of hundreds. There are still some behind the scenes as we speak. So that's why.
Hold on, that just hurt my heart.
Can you read the comments there? Read Mr. Korra. He said asking for stars proves as his ethical heartstrings, but he was happy to ask a woman
ethical heartstrings, please. Wow.
But he was happy to ask a woman to took 9 inches in his nyash. We are coming back. So how did the nyash thing get? That's where we want to start and come down, please.
Okay. Okay. Wait, I'm just trying to find you on my iPad so I can read the comments. It's too tiny on my phone. Okay, how did that come to be? Okay, yeah, so I asked, like, very shyly, or I think I emailed him first and kind of sent him the, ooh, thank you, Stacey, comments are beautiful, thank you. Yeah, I emailed him, sent him the, like, the invoice for my storage company to let him know it was, legitimate, all of that stuff, and he said, either he said yes, or we, or like, let's talk in person. And so he knocked on my door, came to discuss it with me. And I would say we were friends, or I think we had a good rapport. We were getting along well. And just having a lot of, I guess, spirited debate, which I now realize was mostly him saying offensive white people things and me trying to keep a sense of humor and move past it. I'm like, you know what? Let me try to be progressive and accept his white opinion, or try to not judge. But yeah, so he came over to.
Please, y'all tell me if you can hear, okay? Let me know if you can hear. I went to Jeba's page and I noticed that she did an interview with someone. I just want us to hear. Someone called Nkemofo. So we are actually listening to that. Shout out to Nkemofo on Facebook. So let's hear what Jeba has to say. But let me know if you can hear what Jeba is saying. Ronem said, well, there are labor laws in California. She needs to go to the Department of Labor and file complaints. I don't think she I don't think she can, because remember the NDA that she offered him. Okay, Ron M, you were not here when we're discussing the NDA. That this thing, she said she offered JD when she was going to leave. Jeba said, and she posted it on her Facebook, the NDA. So she said she wasn't going to say anything, but I don't know, because she said she will not complain about, because she said something about Black people. Those of you that live in the United States probably understand more what she was talking about. She was talking about job and workers not paying very well, Black people, lawyer court, and something like that. She was describing the NDA, that she wasn't going to do any of that. She wasn't going to lay any complaint. That the only thing she wanted JD to do for her was to give a good review for her. So in the future, if she's working with other people and whatnot, she wanted to leave with a clean slate. But then JD came out and said those nonsense that he said, which was totally opposite of what Jeba was asking for. Jeba was saying, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to keep quiet. I'm not going to say you didn't pay me. I'm not going to say how you were threatening me to leave and all these things that was against whatever that law is. But that's why I said, I think from what Jeba was now explaining, that NDA and why she's talking, it does make sense, because if the person is saying, I want to continue in this business, I love taking care of kids and whatnot, and now you've told us that she's a thief, she even stole your credit card, you're messing up things for her, because people that will go look her up now, before you know, they will now be finding out things that is coming from your mouth, and you were her employer, even though you didn't officially get her from where they used to get Nanny from, but she was your, and worked with you for some months. So that's not good for her. So she might not file. So yeah, she sound crazy. Did you hear what she just said? She allowed him to say white people derogatory things to her. There's a lot of things that Jeba has actually tolerated, where like, and this is one thing with these Muzungus. They test our people a lot. Like, even with those ones that have just friends and not just, they will test you first. They will say these things, and your reaction will let them know if they will be comfortable to say it again and do it again. How you tackle them will be what will set them. I'll give you one example. Went to went out with some they were all Muzungus, and we're all sitting at the beach, and one turned to a child, trying to feed her child. Kids don't eat sometime. And I'm just there chilling, under my umbrella, I've been swimming a little bit, came out, and then and she's telling the child, eat, eat, eat. The child didn't want to eat the food. And the next thing that came out from her mouth is, you have food to eat. You should be grateful because people in Africa don't have food to eat. And she turned to me and said, is that not true? I had to hold myself because I was ready to fold my hand and punch her in the face. I just held myself for a second, took that deep breath, and I said, that's not true. That is the nonsense they tell you people here in Europe, but that's not true. And then she was closing her eye, telling me that I'm just saying it to tell the child. And I said, don't know. I'm not going to lie to the child. Where I come from, we don't lie to children, because this might be in her brain, and this your child will not forget. And I said, no, we have a lot of food. And I turned to the child and I said to the child, there's a lot of food in Africa. There's a lot of food to eat, but you know what? You have to eat your food, so you have to be healthy. And I'm thinking of all the things you can say to your little child to convince your child to eat. You tell your child that we don't have food. And yet, you people in these countries are the ones with the terrible weather, so much cold, you can't grow any crops and whatnot. But we in Africa, we throw a seed and it germinates, and we are the ones that don't have food. So these people will test you. But your reaction, before you open your mouth, I've already finished you. Like, I don't even care. If you see me the next day, you don't speak to me. It's not my business. There's nothing I'm going to do with you. So, but if you're just stupid, I'm going to tackle. So I feel like Jeba allowing this person to say those things, JD will first come with a small one to see her reaction. And she probably just laugh and smile. That's what some of our people do. And sometimes I've had to correct people. And I was like, do you know that thing that these people said, or this person said that you laughed, was actually an insult to you? And they're like, how do you mean? When you now explain, they're like, oh, but I didn't see it like that. Like, pay attention. Don't get carried away because they talk with a twisted tongue. Understand when they are shading you. Okay. So sometimes these things fly past people's head, or sometimes some people just give them the right to say these nonsense things. And it's terrible.
Yeah, my room, and he's like, yeah, I can do it. And I guess he Venmoed me in two parts. So he sent me the $2,000 first, and then I think the second part of it, he's like, yeah, okay, I'll send you the rest of it under one condition.
So that's why I said he did not pay you. He's not paying you $5,000. He paid you, if he's partner and all together, that means he paid you one. Right. You render the service to him.
Right. No, absolutely. Because I'm like, if I were a professional and that were my job, I'm like, I might charge $5,000 for one experience. You don't know. So yeah, I think I didn't realize until
for one experience.
I knew that was like obviously, improper and not something that I wanted to do.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Queen. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you so much. I appreciate. God bless you, Efe. God bless you. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. I'm super grateful. Thank you.
Oh, somebody has sent me 500 stars. Thank you so much for the 500 stars. Wow. Please, guys, show some love to Jiva. I'll link this on the page. Please show some love, please. Sprinkle some love. She doesn't have to do this.
Thank you so much.
Let's support her girl. She was born in the Lord's land bus stop.
I certainly hope so. Like I'm looking.
You know, well, it is said that you flog with one hand and you pull close with the other hand. So good that they are supporting Jeba, and I hope that Jeba learned from this. Know that you're not different from that person that was just treated bad. You know, and it wasn't only Korra. Before Jeba came into the picture, he has already treated so many people of color bad that people like Jeba should have run away from him. Now he still has the Belgium lady as a friend. That's the next one that he's going to show Wakashig.
Like at when I like Google him, I'm surprised. I'm like, how are women still falling for this? Like I understand. Like I was there, and I'm like, I knew that it was very easy for me to not cross over the line into romance. Like, I mean, as soon as he told me he was poor, I'm like, okay, well, let's keep it professional.
You see, Jeba now work for you. So if he was not poor, as soon as he told you he was poor, you decided to keep it professional. Anyway, let me just leave you people to listen to
He was
Jeba.
poor though, or he's hiding his money.
I think, I mean, now I think he's definitely hiding it now. But I mean, at the beginning, he was actually broke. Like I was with him when his car declined. Like it was awkward. All right. And even to get groceries every single time, I'm like, hey, do you have like $200 in this account for groceries? And he's like, hold on, I have to transfer some money in this account. It's either he was very good at playing broke or he was actually very broke. And then, and I guess because that was on his mind, I know he was talking about retirement very early, like just kind of, I think he had started to compare his life timeline to Korra's. And I think he had gotten used to a certain quality of life as a sugar baby. And so it is very much like such a competitive sort of personality he has, where it's like, okay, well, that's not fair, you know, or why should she succeed and not me? And it's like it's like a white child being jealous.
Oh,
like,
I'm a doctor. He comes out and say, I'm the doctor. She doesn't have, if social media crashes in 6 months, she'll be homeless. He doesn't understand how to make it. He did that a few times. He actually sent those his minions to try and get her page down. At one point, she was banned for 6 months. She had to go to mental head office to try to fix that. The aim was, if she lost her page, that she would be homeless. Because the fact that she bought a $1.6 million house, which I know it's mortgage, but she has to put some deposit down.
Oh, the jealousy, because he does not actually own any assets. He's mad about it. Oh my God, that's unbelievable. But so he would want the mother of his children to be homeless. Like that would be a good outcome for him.
Can I tell you? He doesn't care. On the day after he took the kids, when this thing happened, a few weeks later, I came to pretend that he was taking the kids. So give Korra a break. He never returned them. Korra went everywhere. Called the mother. Korra called the mother and said, look, my breast is engorged. I need my baby back. Even if you want to keep the baby J,
yeah,
I want my baby girl. What did the mother say? That's what happens in a divorce. She tried everywhere, called the police, and they said, until her friends had to ask her, help her to go and get restraining order, go and get police report and restraining order. Because he was a cheapskate. Look at how lucky Korra was. God lucky them. He was a cheapskate. 4 days into him doing that, he thought he got her where he wanted her. He can't do nothing. 4 days later, somebody called him for a job. A job came out, but he couldn't pay for babysitter or anything. So he brought the kids back. Can you look after the kids while I go to work? And
Okay, so I see this is almost like the lady kind of explaining to Jeba certain things that Jeba is not aware of. But although the title is said Jeba is joining them on an interview, so let me just quickly say this: if people are going to bring Jeba on their live stream, please write down the questions you have for Jeba. Like write it down. And if you want to have a chit chat where you just chat with Jeba, because we see that you people are trying to encourage Jeba to create her page, grow her page, start earning money, so JD will not be mocking her and threatening to sue her because she doesn't have money, and he thinks he's going to win because she cannot get a lawyer and things like that. So people should write down the questions. Like be prepared. If you're going to have Jeba on your live stream. That's the advice I would you know give to people. I would have, if I was this lady, I would have allowed Jeba to talk, because as Jeba speaks, you would kind of learn a lot about this. Let me plug my device in. My battery is low. So, you know, but let me see if Jeba is going to say something else.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Just give me some time. I had a took a little walk around the block. Listen to some hip hop music. I'm like, oh, I got this. I'm strong. You know what? Hustle hard. But yeah, no,
Somebody's asking, was he on phone?
Someone said his butt must be big. He does have a big butt.
You really did you use baby oil?
Of course.
Did you go freely or did you use baby oil?
He would be a champion if he just did it with nothing. No, I used a lot. I feel like I'm a very gentle lover. I'm very compassionate. So I used a lot of product. I didn't want to hurt this man. I didn't want to scare him if this was his first time. So, some sort of injured him. Yeah, no, I didn't want to injure him or anything, so I was careful. And it was great. And so it was kind of
It was great. Are you people hearing what I'm hearing? I used a lot of product. I used a lot of oil. Jeba, you used a lot of oil in JD's nyash. That's what we call it in Nigeria, nyash. You wait, somebody write in the comment section. Are you people hearing what is coming out from Jeba's mouth? And Jeba is saying, what was great? What is great about helping a full-grown man's behind? It doesn't matter if you're using a lot of products or whatnot. Look, y'all, let me just keep playing this thing. Listen very well.
The feedback at the end of it, I would say, was maybe like 15. If you had a question and stuff, I would say it's like 15. What is it called? Someone said I should have used the whole mop. Oh no! This was before, but this was early on. This was before I knew he was evil.
Was he on all fours? Was he on all fours?
Unfortunately, yes.
What?
Somebody wants to know if he was on all fours. When you...
She just answered it, but this in the interview I missed it. I saw the comments up because the comment is going, or people are asking questions on the live stream. Somebody asked if he was on all fours, and the interviewer just asked Jeba now, and Jeba just said it under her voice that unfortunately yes, but I think the interviewer missed it because she's laughing as she's asking the question. Yo, you see why you should not just be. Oh, come on, man. What was JD thinking when he came out and said that Jeba was a thief and Jeba stole his camera? Yo, did they just ask, was he on all fours? Oh, yo, you there, yeah? You there, yeah, talk? Whoa. Jeba said, unfortunately, yeah. Yo. Let me keep playing this thing.
I mean, what other position could it be? Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Did I answer your question? No,
Right.
Did you hear that? Say, what other? You people hear Jeba beg. I'm not going to repeat anything. You people, if you didn't hear, then tell me so I can repeat. Jeba really worked like Jeba did the job of a nanny, a caretaker, a caregiver, name it. And yet you came out to call her a thief. And now look at the kind of things she's spilling. Oga, come and deny it, oh. Allegedly. Let me be saying allegedly. Allegedly. All fours. A lot of products were involved. And this Jeba Sef, in fact, Jeba Yusef, you're very weird. Jeba, you weird die. Which kind of Allah be this? What do you mean? Which kind? Omo? Okay, or with this kind of thing, if you ask me, this is just my own opinion now, okay? My opinion. I think these two were in a relationship. There was something. I don't know what Jeba is trying to say, but I don't believe you, Jeba. If you're able to do all this job and I beg you, there was some more going on.
Oh my God. Guys, please show some love. Thank you for the stars, just giving stars. Thank you for the coffees, the paper. Please show us some love.
How do I link my stuff? Somebody asked, is this a paid interview? No, but that is why
It's not a paid interview. Who is going to pay me? I'm saying show her some love. Who is going to pay who? Just show her some love. We know her story. We know why brother-in-law did what he did, because she didn't have a place. She came from out of state. She didn't have a place to stay. You felt like you could just gaslight her and manipulate her into doing things. Like you heard her say here. She tried to say no, but it was like, if you want to do this, that's a favor. I'll pay for this. You do this. If you can't do me this favor,
that's a big favor.
Think about our living arrangement. And at the time, she was glad to have a roof over her head. So, guys, be kind, please. Be kind.
Right.
Let me see. Somebody said, Mr. Korra wrote, Jiba, why didn't you show it? Make him walk like a three-legged goat for the rest of
okay, listen, if I knew he was a bad person at this point, I would have gotten justice for everybody. I promise. For the whole Black community, the whole diaspora. But I did not know. This is like the first month. Like, it was earlier.
Let me ask a question. Do you believe I think when you were talking to Amoira, you said it was the first time, but for that big length, and the fact that he said, what your feedback, I need you to say the feedback. You think that was his first time, or he just tried to pretend it was his first time? Did everything go in? That big length and thickness, did everything go in? Do you think actually it was his first time? Honestly, now.
I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. I don't even know if anything he said has ever been the truth. So now I don't know. But I will say that he took it like a champion. He was not, I feel like most men would, but, kind of run away like, oh, actually, no, thank you. That didn't happen. I think he enjoyed himself. And afterwards, like, 10 minutes later, he was just walking around back to normal. And the feedback was like, oh, I don't know why I was complaining so much.
I was waiting for you to say that.
Yeah. And I'm like, wow, and he literally was like, I could actually go off of that. That wasn't as, that wasn't as.
Welcome, Brooke. Welcome, Queen. Thank you so very much for joining. Brooke said, even if he speaks, he's going to speak bare lies. So who cares? Exactly. How do you come from this, knowing fully well that this is not something you were willing to share? He's never hinted anything like this. So, Brooke, you're very correct. If he won't even there, this is one thing that he will never address. To think that he was saying that his ex's private part was named after a nightclub in Nigeria, and this is him. Which one is worse now? Somebody, in fact, anyways.
I thought it would be, and I'm like, nobody is daring you to do this. Like, you can just say that
he chose to do it. My next question, though, if it was his first time, how did he know he was gonna make him come alive? Because he said he was inside. How did you know that was gonna bring him? It was just a manipulative tactic. You think it was manipulation on his part, asking you that just to get you drawn in to help him with that?
I don't know, but honestly, it was a thing where I mentioned this with Moira, where it's like this man. I think men in general, like their mood and their emotion really.
But if Brooke said, Brooke said Jeba has so much evidence. She needs to get to CPS and show them, because we have to protect those kids. Who is standing up for them? Very sad. Well, if JD knows that Jeba has so much, Why did he even start by calling her a thief? If he didn't do that, we wouldn't even know this. You can imagine, this is really his karma. Jeba is JD's karma.
Controls the environment that they're in. And so like if he's in a bad mood or if he's depressed, like since he's tracking whatever his ex-wife is doing, and he's just
somebody said he's on this life now that they've seen that is if he's asking some question, really he's using fake truth. That's what somebody said. Fake. It might not be true. They are thinking.
Gotcha. But still, I mean, does he have anything better to do? He could be here. Oh wait, what was I saying?
About I asked if did you put everything? Do you think it was the first time? If people ask the feedback he gave and everything.
Yeah, it was a manipulation. I don't know. But I definitely think that is something that. I mean, I definitely think it was a selfish ask, you know, because I'm like, if it didn't make sense, because I'm especially because we agreed to, you know, just keep like not cross certain barriers, not cross certain lines, because we'd be living together and we didn't want it to be weird for the children. So that was.
I find it difficult to believe this part, what Jeba just said. Look, except Jeba is confirming that JD is it's crazy, like he has mental problem. How do you go from we agreed we're not going to cross certain line to this person telling you to put something in their behind allegedly? What you're it just nah. You start small. You start small, you know, you get comfortable with the person and then you start small. You know, you people start something. How do you just pull up something and give the person to go behind you and start doing something like this? If there was nothing, if there was no crossing of the line. I don't know if people understand what I mean. Okay, this is like, yo, you go on all four and tell somebody, take product, take this tool, and come on, man. Jeba.
I would have appreciated had he not tied it to that. It'd be different if, like, of my own accord, I'm like, oh, I want to try something new. What do you think about this? But, like, it was not great for that to be, for something that I needed to be tied to that action. Yeah.
So kind of, you can call that a financial, is it financial abuse, or I don't even know how to put that because somebody's asking, do you have stars on your page? Maybe they want to say.
No, I don't think I can get them yet. I tried.
You know what you need to do? You need to come live every day or every whatever. You can just wake up. You don't have to say nothing. Make a cup of coffee, good morning all that. Mm-hmm. You can do a reel and all that because all you need to have is 1,000 for you to start receiving stars. And you have about 2,500 at the moment, but you have to start coming live and putting videos out there and you start giving you. Let me see, any other question? So what do you think about, did he tell you about the London attack on Korra? Because that actually made him go why? Because he was, as soon as that London attack happened, that was when he went to Zeg and started doing his River Stever story.
Oh, Lord. What do I know? All I know is that he said he didn't. So what type of? Someone asked a very specific question. Wow, relax. Whoa, whoa. Okay. Wait, what are you? Where's another? What does that mean? Another woman was on his table and he's pretending to work on her. What does that mean?
Okay, let me tell you something as well. Do you know? Because I know I can see that you tried to protect it for a long time. When this whole thing started, for the first few weeks, maybe 10 to about nearly 12 weeks, Korra didn't talk. Actually, even when Korra came out to talk, she said, look, I'm not going to say anything negative about my husband. The internet doesn't forget and all that. Korra didn't talk. She was actually, he literally cornered her in a corner. She was scared. The poor girl or poor woman was scared for her life. But then her sister came to America and she said her own story. Do you know that this man admitted? Yes, she has put her links again by herself. If you see Jiba here, please, guys, I'm gonna like it. So all her links are there: Coffee, PayPal, Vimo. If you show her some love, you know that she admitted she was hard on voice because he also did that woman dirty. That woman was called, her page is called Rehab Time with Flora. Is based she's based in Canada. Also one of the people supporting him, oh, we'll do Korra this, we'll do Korra that, until he did that dirty. Because he doesn't believe that anybody should get money. That was why when you came out to say, oh, you are doing this for money, I said, why not? He's doing it for money. Because of what that woman was doing for him, or what that woman was doing for him, the woman got into a law case, into her and another page called A Happy Place USA. They were going to go to court. Some people have had suspended sentences because of this. So
you can imagine people going to court because of Jade.
And all that. One of his followers now said, called Flora, no, you are not going to pay this law case from outside pocket. We are going to do a GoFundMe for you. So for the legal case. And she went, okay. So she went live. She told her people, everybody knew. She told them that at 12 o'clock, so time, that I'm going to come on live. But first of all, she said she spoke to him. His voice changed when she was talking about it. When she was talking about, oh, somebody did what the followers suggested and all that. She said, went cold. It was later we
good for you people.
So you want to make money. They don't want
You people are supporting the good person. It's not what you people said.
Anyway, this woman, Rehab Time with Flora, gave him time and order to come live. At that time, they still had they haven't given them that 50-50. He had the keys. He was having a 40%, I think. He has 2 days while Korra has 3 days. Or he has 3 days. Korra. He had Monday to Wednesday while Korra has the other one. At the exact time the lady went on live, and because they were at the time they were the big thing, there were millions of views and all that. The exact time the lady went on live, told him he was gonna go on live, and he go for me. The exact and the examining the exact second. Brother and the Lord, aka JD, went live with the girls at the swimming pool. So as soon as he went, like people were there trying to,
wow, what a petty person.
While she was there, people were living her life to go, oh, they are there. They want, because the gist was still very hot.
Wow.
The woman got angry and went off. He later called him to say what you did wasn't good. He was like, oh no, that's the time I have to spend with my kids. Why should I do that? So that was when he realized that it was all about him. He didn't care for anybody else and all that.
Good for them.
He decided to leak their conversation with.
Oh, that's the woman that I guess, because she mentioned Canada, so that means that's the woman that posted the conversation that they had where JD was giving Korra's phone number and telling the woman to blackmail Korra. If you people remember that voice note, I think that's the story that this lady is telling now.
Heard, it wasn't a chat. Heard brother in the Lord openly admitted to doing things with women. During the COVID, where people were doing treatments, visual.
Oh, was this a picture thing?
He was asking them to show their boobies. Somebody who said that they have back pain, asked them to show their boobies, their teeth, and all that. He actually admitted. He said, "Did he tell you about that anyway?" According to his research.
I heard about that recently. No.
If you go to that woman's page, you can find that out. It should be around September 2022 to October that link still on her page.
I feel like, I know this man has been bad enough in recent times. I don't need to comb through the history of how terrible he is. But I will say about like the boob thing I mentioned with Amora, that he, like, the second time I met him, he offered to show me a picture of his ex-wife's breasts, and I said,
"Can you imagine?"
Thank you. I thought it was so inappropriate, and I'm like, oh, this man really does not respect black women's bodies at all. Like, it was disgusting.
Well, sorry, continue.
No, good. I'm reading the comments and I'm trying to see what we missed. Oh, someone says, does he coach the kids to be against their mother? Have you heard it? Absolutely.
Can you imagine trying to show your nanny the boobs of your ex? Like this Jade is just wired very weird. There is nothing we will not hear. Like, Jeba is exposed. If I hear film from these people's mouth again, Jeba should say whatever she wants to say, because JD kept rubbishing his ex-wife for how many years? Jeba just started. Is it up to how many months now? Jeba continue for 3 years plus. JD has been telling Korra's story. So continue telling your story too.
Or not even. feel like coach is a bit of a strong word because it's not so overt, but it's similar to kind of how he speaks to me. Yeah, kind of like how he would speak to me, where it's like, it's clear programming. Like he's trying to feed very specific information into their head. Definitely about, I think June said something about, she's playing this game on the iPad. And it costs money to buy like something virtual in the game. And he's like, so why don't you ask your mom? And she's like, because it costs $30 and my mom only has 16. She doesn't have enough money. And like, just kid stuff. And the dad immediately was like, that's a lie. Your mom's lying. She has money. She has money. I'm like, oh my God. So it's usually about money. It's usually, June did mention that he tried to, how do I say this? He maybe told her to like say that her mom was like hitting them, so I
Wow.
am an impartial party.
That's very bad, though.
Yeah, I know. So I'm an impartial party for the children. So I'm like and again, it's not like I was getting paid, right? So I'm like, I'm going to be an advocate for the Black people in the house, for the Black girls in the house. So when I would talk to June separately just to try to get an understanding, because I still did not know for sure, what level of bad human he was. I'm like, it's not, it's a big thing if somebody accuses you of being like a pedo, right? And I'm like, I'm not going to, if I hear any sign of that, this man is going to jail. So I would listen intently. And so I asked her, which parent would she want to live with if she had to choose, or if she likes being with both parents. And she said, she likes both, but she's like, but dad, daddy says mommy lies, and
You can imagine.
and what is it? And he's like, but sometimes I think dad is also not telling the truth, because he says to say that, like, mom hits us and she doesn't. And now I'm sitting there and I'm like,
so wow, Junie understands what's going on, really.
And that's the thing. This man acts like the kids' brains are not sponges absorbing all of this stuff. And so he's like, oh, they won't remember, they're young. And I'm like, these kids are very, very smart. Hi, sister. Oh, I guess I do need dinner. Oh, sorry. Oh, did you text me? Yay. Oh, wait. Never mind. Sorry, we need to eat food. Wait, let me look at this menu that my sister sent me. Yeah, so it's like that kind of thing. When it came to like being like dishonest, where he's so biased, and I'm like, I don't know, it's too much. But somebody did also ask, oh, it says like I'm trying to avoid the London topic. No, it's just I don't have any information aside from I think what I said about the email thing was during the attack he was following it closely, like very concerned about it being blamed on him, and then and then he was keeping me updated about like the police reports, and he was like very excited, like for.
All right, if you're just coming in, you're welcome. Welcome, Laura Lee. Welcome, Queen. Thank you so very much for joining. Welcome, everyone. Please don't forget to give the live stream a thumbs up. We are here. The expose, the details, everything Jeba is spilling. So Jeba is on an interview on the bloggers post call and came on Facebook, and that's what we're listening to. Jeba is spilling, okay, allegedly how JD went on all fours and whatnot. Whatever you've missed, this live stream is one that y'all need to just grab your popcorn, throw on your headset. For those that will be watching the replay and whatnot, and listen. Right now we're 1 hour 47 minutes into this thing, and it is juicy.
Surveillance tapes to come out, because he's like, she obviously staged it. I can't wait till the police, like, he was like very, very sure that she staged it. And he was like updating me on where the police were at in their case. And I'm like, how are you getting this information? Like, what are you talking about?
He just pumping you with lies. He doesn't have any information.
I mean, that could be the case, but he's like, oh, her email. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, she never signed out on my computer, so I still have access to her email. And that did seem to be real. I'm not nosy, so I didn't go into, to verify that. But I don't see why he would make that up to me. Like,
he can make
like, I don't have
anything up just for you to get drawn into his heart,
That's true.
Somebody wants to know there was one time on Korra's life, Junie kind of admitted that the dad needs her, that the dad wakes, I don't know if you were there at the time, that the dad wakes her up at night to make some videos. Are you aware of any videos? Because at the time, they have just granted them, he pulled this up to this, but they have just granted it that both of them could do videos of the kids. So long as it was pre-recorded. But he keeps asking people to attack Korra's page that Korra didn't. But on one of the lives, Junie admitted that, and the guy needs me, I make video for him. So are you aware of any videos that he makes with Junie with the hope of releasing them later, but never materialized because he was trying to tell those women, my kids are not allowed on Facebook.
He's so dramatic with that, and it's like, and it's again, it's clear that it's like, well, if it's either we both get to profit, or no, even if they both get to profit, it's like he feels like it's not fair. She shouldn't get to get anything because that's her exploiting the kids. But if it's him doing it, it's him being just a good dad publicly.
Why you are saying that now? There's another question I want to ask. Were you there when there was a time he came back and was excited? I have restraint order on her now. She cannot say anything about me. She can, but then while on that live, he was saying the regretful thing about her, and somebody said, "Oh, you can say something about her, but
right?"
And he went, "Oh, because that's the truth. That's the truth." Were you there at the time?
Of course I was there. Yeah, because he made me give her this stupid restraining order. Of course I was there. So that was I don't know, and
So that's the restraining order that Jeba
because of that. Because one,
delivered
me being
to
there did not
Korra.
I thought he was right. Me being there was more so I got there and was like these what is it called? Yeah, I got there and I'm like these kids. This man is not prepared to parent these kids alone, or it's like he told me like very early on his plan for custody. Or for full custody, and I told him, I'm like, okay, well, as it stands, that's kind of why I poured so much energy into the house, was because I knew that I was not going to stay for the 2 years that he asked me to stay there. And what is it called? Wait, I'm getting distracted with reading the comments. Sorry.
So please don't read.
Let me ask. I know. I forgot what I was answering.
While you are thinking of that, when he asked you to stay for 2 years, do you think he was trying to make you replace the mother? Because you said, I think I heard you say he made the kids call. Did the kids call the other women mother, or he made them call other women mom?
He doesn't make them, but Athena does call every woman mom, and he does not stop her at all. And I've told him many times, because even I was uncomfortable with it. And because I don't want kids, right? And so it's like, I'm kind of, I didn't feel very maternal. And I'm like, this kind of makes me uncomfortable. Can you tell her? And he's like, oh, it's 2. She'll grow out. She's 2. She'll grow out of it. But like he thinks it's funny because it's like every single woman who comes to the house, though, like he just lets it be a surprise to them. Like, oh, haha, did she call you mom? Like very.
Can you imagine?
Just like he's relishing in the disrespect.
Like it's not a big deal.
Yeah,
because those kids are young. If you're calling different people mom, if you get what I mean. Anyway, guys, there's 230 of you watching me at the moment. I've got Ziba has pinned it on her page, pinned it on there, and I've got it on.
You just come in, you are welcome. We are still on the series. Remember when we started, I said as long as Jeba keeps talking, the nanny, JD's nanny, we will come in and discuss it. Better late than never, right? So that we are here listening to another interview that she granted. Remember when she did the interview with Amora, we also did a reaction on that, and this is another one that she did with another blogger.
I think the title of this, please show some love. So she doesn't have to be here. We're just being kind. It's not a paid interview. This is just out of your heart, whatever you feel like. It's a season for giving, just to help her out of a situation.
Thank you.
Yeah, please. Down here, let me like it again. You can see the payment this.
What other questions? I see the question. I just wanted to wrap up the question. Let me read. It was about recording the kids at night. I haven't seen that. I don't know if that was ever the case, but I mean, I know that, people were upset about me, like, having, like, recordings of the kids doing normal kid stuff, but he did ask me to, like, record videos of him playing with the kids. But then when I realized it was for, like, PR purposes, I'm like, I just didn't send him that. Like, what? That's weird. And I knew it was not genuine. I guess people are also asking,
when he came we came to know that you are the one that bought him the super dad. He came to show us that super dad clothes.
I threw it in the garbage before I left. If you've never seen it again, that's
Oh,
why.
the super
I'm
dad
so
shirt.
upset about that.
Also, it was Jeba that bought super dad shirt.
Rescued it from the trash.
Oh boy.
Yeah, because I'm like, that was just encouragement. I wanted him to evolve to be that dad. But when I got him that shirt, he was, I guess, like, I made him feel too affirmed for Father's Day. He's like, I'm a great dad. And I'm like, no, you're not. Never mind. So thank you, Stacey.
My next question is this. You know that narcissists, they kind of confess what they are doing or about to do. When Korra was always going on holiday to Mexico, when he had that white woman come around, they had this theory that, maybe she wants to go and sell, or maybe she wants to traffic the person of the children there, blah, 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 until we saw a lot of things happen, especially with what happened. Do you think he has a photo of the keys that he's selling? Because for the life of me, till date, I don't understand why he consented for Crystal Ball to share pictures of his kids in the bathroom doing number 2 naked with that group. So do you think something like that, was that a confession of him trying to accuse Korra, but that's what he's doing? Or do you think
that's what was on my mind, right? Because it's like, lies don't come, from nowhere. And I did learn it's like narcissists, they'll tell you stories about things that people have done to them, right? And it's really the opposite. And so I'm like, I cannot see Korra being the one to do that. I also can't really, I mean, he seems genuine in his anger about, like, the kids are being shown online, like, taking, literally taking screenshots of Korra's lives. Like, look at this. You feel like she was showing this angle of June, like, intentionally.
Can you imagine?
I don't know, but even
the restless human being.
Weird that you're doing. So, like, why do you have a giant printout of this now? But so I'm like, I don't know. He sounds horrified when he's talking about it, but again, he is a professional actor at this point.
His mode of operation is, he said in one of his lives, speak slowly, but hold the stick.
Oh, he's an idiot.
That's what he says. Let me ask this question. Guys, please ask questions so that she can answer this question. There is a video, like a chat video. Is it video or real you did 2 days or 3 days ago on your page? At one point, you said you were scared of him. Can you expatiate on that? He said, what do you mean scared of me? And he talked about that passive aggression, about the tape.
I think that's in the post she made.
Yeah. So, I mean, by scared, I just mean this man was very, like, paranoid and erratic and unpredictable in terms of if he was going to just treat me like a normal person or be suspicious of me and like, randomly start interrogating me about, like, so I bet Korra sent you, like, and just all this stuff. And I'm like, what do you do? Like, you think I know your ex-wife, and you sent me on a secret mission to go screw her over, and I handed her a piece of paper and she just, acted like she didn't recognize me? Like, it's just so over the top. And so, but part of it was that he was doing a lot of drinking at that time, and my parents don't drink. I don't really drink much either, and so it's always, it has always made me uncomfortable to be around, like, a big white drunk man, because I have seen them lose control often, or I've seen them get into bar fights and stuff like that. So I'm scared in that way, where he would come home, like, or he would be drinking in his car for like 2 hours, and I would regularly have to text him, like, hey, I can see you parked outside the window. 1, come relieve me from these damn kids. This is your job. It's past 10 o'clock. Stop hiding from your responsibility. And I would have to come to sit with him because he was just in such a depressed, funk, just like obsessed with being on his phone, like drinking and still looking at his phone and trying to
Thank you
what
for
is it called?
50 stars, whoever sent it. Please sprinkle some love to Jiba as well. I need to ask another question about the dirtiness. Can I tell you something now? From what you've seen so far online on this blue app, every time I think do you think it's a strategy of him, because his bloggers swear that the fact that when they were together that he was the cleaner. He was the one that is the clean one in their
Why
house.
did I think that? Was he
every time now for me I understand. I'm just asking this for people so that you can expatiate more about the cleaning and all that, because we know some of us can read through his BS and know what it, but every time she comes on live and he's around, that's when you see him start picking something. So I think he's not picking up, trying to tidy up somewhere. So that's why they swear that he's the clean one. Please tell us about the clean.
Oh my God. I'm telling he's a professional supporting character. I'm telling you, that's funny. That he was definitely doing that.
Every time they come on live, he start picking something to make sure that the videos are.
No. So he does not clean. At most, he'll tidy up. That's why I'm like, his house wasn't like visibly dirty like when I first came over there and we first met. But I'm like, oh, he knows how to throw a cover on top of the bed and kind of like, throw clothes in the hamper and it looks clean on the surface. But what was the question about the house? What did you just
about the cleanness of the house? How he pretends to be the clean one?
Yeah. So no, it was. I have several. It was a big thing about trying to get him to clean the house and do his part, because he would what is it called? Like I would do the dishes or I would clean the house and he would come back and be like, oh, you don't have to clean my house, like that's not part of your job, don't do that.
Tell me about it.
And so I would I'm like, okay, great, I didn't want to anyway, cool, do it. And so he would like leave it neglected, and I'm like, dude, so that's how like the sink got stuck. So when I was talking about the tape thing, like he had so much. The dishes were piled in the sink for like a week. The house smelled horrible. That's kind of around the time all those flies were living in the dining room. I'm like, these flies need to pay rent at this point. Crazy. And so, what is it? Yeah, and I told him, and I'm like, I literally had to get June to be like, oh, like, listen, like make a big deal about these flies when your dad gets here because he thinks it's just me complaining. And so he's like, oh my God, these flies are in my nose. These flies are everywhere. And I'm like, okay,
are you serious?
But I'm like, he like, he has to hear something so many times in order for me to care about it. And he's like, oh, whatever. And he's like, oh, is this that dirty? He's like, I can't even really tell. Because he's like, where I grew up, it was like a farm. It was much dirtier than this. Like, yeah, there was like I guess a dog that lived outside would come in the house and just like poop on the floor, and he grew up.
Oh my God!
And so I'm like, that's not. I'm like, it's inappropriate for you to feel like that. That's normal. It's for your black daughter, right? I'm like, if you wanted to do that, you could have had a white family. I'm not gonna allow you to leave black girls in this condition. It's crazy.
Boy.
All right. Another question. In your opinion, because you said he literally drinks, and of course he admitted to Kim Baker during their chat that got leaked sometime last year before she stepped out. She had admitted to her that he doesn't sleep. He gets knocked. He has to take alcohol called IPAS. It's an Oregon beer to knock him out. So he goes into coma basically on the night to sleep. He doesn't know. Once he's asleep, he doesn't know anything. So Mama, my question is, do you think the kids are safe with him? Yeah, there was the time that you came in at 1 o'clock, if I heard correctly. You came in at 1 a.m. and June was awake on the pad, but he was asleep. Do you think the kids are safe with him? And
what are we hearing? How can you have little kids and you knock yourself out with alcohol?
I think he was drinking a lot before, but he, I guess after he was like pulled out of his depression for a little bit, he like cut back, or like he like stopped drinking for like I guess like a week consecutively or something. So I think it's I guess the intent to be a good
cut back for just a week.
The reality is that
that's the cut back.
He is not as attentive
He
as he
can't
needs
pull
to be.
it off. He can't pull it off.
Yeah. And so it's definitely not active negligence, but like for instance, the kitchen floors and the bathroom floor are like very slippery, hard tile. And so when I first got there, he's like, make sure Adina doesn't come in the kitchen because I'm scared she could fall on this and just like, hit her head and get hurt. And so it just gave me anxiety every single day because, thank you, Applebird, thank you. Then like it gives me anxiety every single day because I'm like, why don't you just put a carpet or something here? I'm like, why are you pointing out a concern and not addressing it? You're just gonna live like this, right? And same thing with the bathroom. But I'm like, the floor is wet every day. He's not like nobody is wiping up the floor after the kids take a bath, splash water all in the bathroom. And every time they would get out the bath, it would give me so much anxiety because I'm like, they can slip coming out of that tub easily. And for him, it's like, it's just an easy thing where, the kids will basically wash themselves. It's a hands-off activity for some reason. I'm like, you understand that you need to be attending to these kids in the bath.
But if this person cannot even do simple things, why are you even fighting the mother of the children? Oh, she this, she that. Like you're not. These things are really, really weird to listen to. Kids coming out of bath, like, what are you doing, man? This is weird.
So I bought some glow in the dark textured like floor tape on Amazon, and I put that throughout the kitchen and throughout the bathroom because I'm like, the lights are all off like in the house. There's no night lights. Like there's nothing that really enhances the safety for children, right? So it's like in the middle of the night when the kids are going to the bathroom, he sleeps like a bear, right? He's not waking up. So I'm like, the kids can easily, try to walk to the bathroom themselves, slip and fall, and he's just sleeping, right? So it's like, again, I don't feel like it's an active negligence, but given how much he was like not even trying to hear my advice on just small changes to help make the house safer, I think it's just I've told him many times, I'm like,
what do you mean? You
cannot only thrive this much because your kids happen to be way smarter than.
Look, what do you mean it's not good? Well, what kind of parent sleeps when you have kids that are under 5 or 5, 6 years? You just sleep and they wake up and go to the bathroom, like walk to the bathroom by themselves. You don't even open your eyes to. What are we hearing now? Are you serious? Hi, now what? Mr. Korra.
Kids their age, but it is all luck that you're riding on at this point. Yeah.
Okay. So do you think he was weaponizing incompetence then? So he wanted you to do it. That's why he's doing that. Could it be that's why he doesn't take your advice? Or if you can stand it, why don't you do it yourself?
Maybe no. There's definitely some of that, and that's just like just arrogance. And kind of disrespect, but at the
He's
end of
just
the day,
not good
I'm
in
not
taking advice.
I'm not anybody's legal guardian, and the safety of his kids is on him.
All right. Somebody wants to know self-love. Reciprocal self-love wants to know because he did have asked people to send him money, coffees, and all that so that he can take June to the trampoline park for her birthday. So she wants to know on her birthday, which is.
How much it cost to go jump on a trampoline? He raised money.
Yeah, they did raise money for that. So did he take June to trampoline park on her birthday?
Did they go to the beach?
That should be on the 9th
they went to the beach.
July. Her birthday is the 9th of July. Did you have any recollection of him taking her?
I know they definitely went somewhere. I think it was thank you, Lorianne. I think it was that's what he promised her, but I think Korra wanted to do that, and so June wanted to do beach and trampoline park, so they just switched. So he took them to the beach, I believe.
All right.
Yeah, but he took a photo at the beach.
Do you have which is free. The beach does not cost any money
anymore. Exactly. But he will come out to tell them, "Oh, Korra, you guys are giving her money for whatever. He doesn't need that money. Basically, I'm the one that need the money." But there are people that see what Korra is doing with her money.
Angela Toba said, "Can you please encourage her to report all those observations to the proper authorities, CPS/police?" Angela, you know what? I would just tell you from what I have noticed about most of the people that supported JD, worked with JD, or some anything like with JD, is the fact that there is something that they are afraid. I don't know what that thing is. If you listen to when this interviewer asked Jeba if Jeba thinks that the kids are safe, you will notice how Jeba is kind of telling the things that she noticed, but at the same time, she's still trying to make it look like it is not that bad. And it could be that it's because Jeba is not a mom yet, because until you have well, there are people that can still put so either age also, it's another thing that I would kind of consider, because there are people that are of certain age that maybe God is yet to bless them with their own kids, but they understand what it means, to take care of little children. So maybe age also, and the fact that Jeba is not a mom yet, Jeba doesn't understand, because the kind of things that I'm hearing her say, and the fact that she says it's not who knocks themselves off with alcohol, who, when you have children that are that little, we're not talking about like 12 years old, that will so okay, 10, 12, they're able to wake up, go to the bathroom, do certain things for themselves. You just have to make sure everything is but we're talking about what, when did June turn 5, that these children have to wake up, and we've seen how big his home is, and I'm trying to think what's the distance between their room to the bathroom or something. Like, why are you knocking yourself out with alcohol? And in fact, even if you're a deep sleeper, when you start having kids, you're not going to be you sleeping that deep anymore, because it's not all about you anymore. It's about those little ones that you're raising. So if you ask me, I don't think Jeba or any other person that has evidence, because there are a lot of people that they do have things that if it gets to the hands of CPS and the right authorities, JD will be in a deep mess. But why sitting here, Entertainment Daily thinks that these people would do that? No, they won't. And I will tell you why. When you see people that are quick to tell you how good they are, when somebody is trying to force it down your throat that they are a good person, they are good people, we're here for the kids, we're here for kids, we support you. Look at that person or those set of people very well. There is something up. Most of them are just pretending. Those are just words from the lips. It's not coming from their heart. So most of these people talking about, oh, for the kids, I care so much about the kids, I love the kids, I this, the kids, that. You see that their actions are telling you something totally different. So I don't think, you know, I do not think that any one of them are going to present all their observations. If that's something they would have done, they would have done it before, long before now. So do I think Jeba wants to go down that route? No. I think the reason why Jeba is even talking now and saying no, because remember, if Jeba, after seeing all of these things and the way she was treated and everything, when she wanted to leave, she was the one, in her own words, she was the one that offered JD that NDA. She said she offered JD, and even took him some days to sign that document. So, do you think somebody that is offering NDA, non-disclosure agreement, to somebody is willing to go and disclose anything to anybody? The answer is no. So that's not going to happen. It won't. And JD knows it.
He's hiding.
I'm telling you, this man has proudly told me how he has not had to spend a dime on clothing for those girls since, in years. In years, they have a walk-in closet in the room that I was sleeping in, like in the guest room. There's a walk-in closet, and you guys saw the video of the clothes all over their bedroom. Like
somebody gave them. I don't know if when you were there or not, but somebody gave them used clothes for about 8 boxes of used clothes. That was when he did the video of, oh, my kids are not in want. Stop giving that. He was trying to make people not to give anything to Korra.
Yeah.
Stop giving my kids anything. Survivors of domestic violence don't talk. They go in hiding.
That was when he said.
Exactly. That video. Go and check out. Anything I'm telling you, go and check. They are there. that she shouldn't be in she should be in hiding instead of talking. That his kid. Okay, if you want to send him anything, you can send him something that will keep baby A, that's Athena, occupied for hours, like babysitting her, basically. That was,
oh my god.
Another question.
And then I'm also showing. I'm looking. Someone said, Susan says, with the kids sleeping in the room I showed on that video. They would sleep in whatever room there was space to lay down. Honestly, like that's the best way to put it. Or kind of wherever they
put their head.
Yeah, it's like if they were playing in the living room on the couch, they're like, sleeping on one of like two couches, or sleeping on like a mattress that's like on the floor in the living room that I put like in a play area. Like it's very random.
Wow. This is a man, when he was bringing them to life, when he was bringing them on life, or when he was allowed to bring, he come and tell you how the children have structure, that before 9 o'clock they are all in bed and all that. So he knows how to talk the talk.
He didn't. I'm so glad that you said that.
Exactly, Ron M.
Post these screenshots from his landlord being like, these kids should know how to walk by.
Because I don't know how people will see these type of things, and for as long as they were there, they were quiet. It's only when JD insults them or does something to them that they don't like, that's the only time they come out and speak. And you're not speaking because you wanted to speak for the kids. You're doing it because you're now angry the way he treated you, or what the insult he gave to you. And that's what we see with each and every one of them. Something will most definitely happen before you hear them singing like a canary bird. So it simply means if that thing didn't happen, you wouldn't have said anything about it because you were okay all those months. Putting oil in somebody's behind and person going on all four and you helping to, what kind of job is that?
Now it's 11 p.m. They need a bedtime. Like his landlord is stressed. It's like he's like, it is so hard for me to rent down these units, like to rent the house downstairs. He's like, because it sounds like there are rats running back and forth, and like into the night. Oh yeah. God. And there was a pregnant woman who lived downstairs, and I'm like, I was always having to like apologize. I'm like, hey.
Welcome, Joseph Aga. Welcome. Yes. That's the first time I'm seeing. We don't have so much males in our live stream. Welcome, our kings. Yeah, we have our kings and our queens. Yeah, welcome, Joseph. Good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us today. Ron said this makes her look bad. Don't they all? When I say people like you calm down. I'm like, what are we calming down for? These associates of JD, like you just have to look at them with side eyes. When they start talking, you just have to, like, even if you try, there's just so much that is going on that nobody, like none of them bothers to complain about. And when everything is out, they want to talk about, but I was there for the kids, and then I tolerated, and I endured, and I did this and I did that because for the kids, but you saw the kids going through. Joe, man. I don't know. Good evening to you, sir. Good evening. Smiley, I make una ring bell for me. Oh, no be smart thing. No be smart thing. We need to ring bell for you. Back up. Welcome. Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining us today.
Sorry, are we keeping you up? Like, it was just a lot.
Somebody said we want details about the BMW. Do you have a picture?
What BMW?
I didn't know that it was a big. I have a picture of the inside of it, or like it's like a video from like the steering wheel to the dashboard. But I just took it when I first got in because he was showing me, and I'm like, oh, cool. But I don't have. I mean, I was near all the license papers, but I didn't think it was that big of a deal, so I didn't take a picture or anything.
You know why people want to know, though?
If it's new?
People want to know because he came on live saying, claiming he doesn't have anything. People should send him coffees and PayPal and all that. The next thing he bought, and he's always claimed that he doesn't like new cars. But when Korra bought a car, he came and cried about, everything Korra buys, he cries about it because at the time they were together.
God bless you too, sir. God bless you.
Bank account. So all our earnings on Facebook, yes, quote me.
No,
all our earnings, I'm telling you, all our earnings. Of, he has his own personal account, and then he told Korra that that's not how the system works. It's a one income. So she was paying her earnings in the joint account. According to him, Korra was earning 50 grand from Facebook a month, but he was the one that was controlling the whole thing.
Wow, this man literally told me the opposite, especially when it came to like the accounts and stuff. Or at least for their online accounts, he's like, I've never had access to them from the beginning. Their mom is just, making that money from them. I don't know where it's going. I don't know how much it is. I'm like, and for me, I'm like, I don't see him just. He was making it seem like she was like so domineering, and she was like forcing him to go along with all this stuff.
Does he look like somebody that you can force?
She was earning that much, they had mattress on the floor. They didn't have dining table or anything. People on their life several times asked him, why don't you buy bed for your pregnant wife or this, that? His comeback, it was always, oh, sleeping on the floor is good for your back.
He did not say that.
I'm telling you. But as soon as he moved, as soon as Korra moved, the day he bought dining table, he ordered the dining table from India. He was so happy, saying that it was his dream. He started of buying IKEA dining table.
You can imagine.
All that.
Oh my gosh. What? And you have no idea. That's why I was so upset that his mom supported him, because I tried to talk to her as a woman and just kind of level with her and be like, hey, by the way,
talk with her. You they talk with Muzungu, Mama. You well?
All kinds of names.
You don't know them.
The door, like they could hear it.
Or you won't person, Mama. Now you won't talk to.
Well, you called your ex-wife WHORE, right? He's like, yeah, because she is. And the mom said nothing, and I'm like, oh, you're weak too. Oh no. And you can kind of.
They always support all the nonsense their children are doing. Always, that's their way.
No one in his house, because I've given him any like feedback about that not being appropriate. So I was like,
that's like the difference between, and no, I don't want to even hear any nonsense. I don't want to hear any nonsense from anybody, because this is fact. As an African person, one thing the African parents that I know, good African parents, do not support is nonsense. Like, as their child, if you try nonsense, if you try nonsense, you will receive a knock on your head. Even if you're married or whatever, you don't outgrow. There's this saying in Africa, I don't know if other people say it, where they said the okra tree, that's okra, the lady's finger, that's the listen. Okra, the okra tree never outgrows the owner, right? Because no matter how tall that plant gets, you can always bend it down to collect your okra from it. That's exactly a belief in African homes. No, you cannot be bigger than, if you like, have all the muscle, be taller than your parents, be chubbier, be richer, be wealthier. In fact, be the world richest person. They don't care. You misbehave, they go treat your F up, like they would most definitely fix you, right? So you cannot. Do you understand? You get, like, well, no matter how big you are, when your parents are talking, you keep quiet. There's nothing like your parents are talking, you two, you're talking, or you're walking away, you're shaking your head, you're rolling your eyes. Oh, those kind of nonsense that people do. An African parents will fix you immediately. If it's a knock you need on your head, you will be receiving it. Do you understand? If you are married, you hear things like, we will come to your home, take permission from your significant other, and we would give you the punishment. Do you understand? They will respect the person you're married, but they will still fix you, like let you know that you came from somewhere. You're not going to embarrass us. You're not going to behave like we didn't raise you very well. But with these Muzungus, with these people, you don't know. Whatever their kids do, it's always right. Majority of them would never call their kids out when their children do something wrong. They support all the evil deeds of their children. No matter how badly behaved their child is, they support it. So I'm not even surprised that JD's mom is, even before they said anything, I knew that his mom was going to support him, cover up for him in everything, because that's how Muzungus, they behave.
Yeah, that was like one of my last days there, and I'm like, never mind.
He calls his mom a saint because his mom supports everything he does. So because the brother went to, we will say, Kirikiri behind bars for 10 years. When the whole this
Joseph, of course there are parents that don't know that they are parents, and they kind of live with their kids like they are, I don't know, like age mates or whatnot. But when I see those ones, I'm like, I don't know where you're from. They behave like about a real African parents and how we used to be. These modern days now, a lot of nonsense is going on that we're seeing, and we don't understand what we're seeing anymore. But in those days, it never used to be like that. You will be fixed. In fact, kids were being raised by community. Now you just be walking on the road, you misbehave. Somebody from the community just gives you a knock on your head, like, "What are you doing?" I'm going to tell your parents. And if you like, cry from the road to the home to go and tell them, "So, this so and so person knocked my head." The first thing your parents will ask you is, "What did you do for that person to knock your head?" By the time you explain, if you like, go and lie. They will go and find that person, ask the person, and they will give that person a handshake for correcting you because you did something wrong and they did not see, and that person saw you and corrected you. So times are really changing, and hence we see what we see now in the society, because the world is now
came out, they didn't let anybody
on
know.
man
But
on your own.
when he realized that everything, all his family is, according to news on this blue, let me use allegedly now, on this blue app, he was conceived when his father was in Kirikiri. When I say Kirikiri, I mean prison. When his father was behind bars and all that. But when his mom
Those
came to
ones
his
we
life,
don't.
when he was doing that River Steva story, the first thing he came out, she came to say, "Oh no, people here, I'm so stressed. People here said that my son went to federal PRISON. But no, yes, he went to PRISN for 10 years, but not federal one." I'm like, wow.
Yeah, I remember
He
that
was
live
learning
stream.
about federal and no federal, not about the duration of the whole thing.
Not the son. I
But the
think
mom
was not
is
her
his
husband
biggest cheerleader. That's how
or the
yeah.
other son.
There's a woman here, Latanya, asked a question. I didn't even know about this, but I'm gonna read that to you.
Listen.
Apparently, somewhere I didn't know about that, so let's ask. Latanya Diva said, "What are your thoughts in him saying that Baby J looks like the type of woman he would date? Why will he say that of his baby, a 5-year-old?"
Absolutely, Joseph. Time, like it's there's just a lot of things now. A lot of things that used to happen in those days. Even the kind of now people are stuck on devices and all those days. Now you run on that day when it's raining. That's that's when everybody comes out. Or is it the Tales by Moonlight, where everybody just sits and listen to stories? Elders will tell you. Now people don't even know anything about their culture, where they are coming from. Just nothing. The world has just changed so much. You know.
When you see anything Baby J, that's June. Baby J, that's Brother in the Lord, that's him. You can hear paparazzi. We have so many names for him.
Somebody mentioned, or I think.
Hello, Cheryl. Welcome, Queen. Welcome. Thank you so very much for joining us tonight. How are you doing? Hope you're doing good.
He mentioned that to me, but was like angry telling me about it. Like, can you believe that because I said this, it means that? And I'm like, I don't know about that one, buddy.
But why will you say
I think it's a weird
like,
thing.
I didn't know. I didn't know.
That's a very strange.
Hold on. Ronamsa, did you hear the lies she told with her whole mouth? Korra and her sister both stated Korra had no access to the money she was making and did not know how much because JD had her thinking she could. The, the thing is, Mr. Korra will never say the truth. You understand? Mr. Korra will never say the truth, and we know that he just he lies for no reason. Even good morning, he knows it's morning. He might say to you good afternoon or good evening. Like it's just part of his life to lie and manipulate. And so I'm not even surprised that that's the story he told to Jeba, that Cora had everything. But he has not actually said it by himself that he was the one that's in charge of the account. And remember also when he transferred all the money to a private account where Cora said, if you don't put back the money, when those things were happening. So we know that what Cora said is more believable than what he has said. But that's JD for you. Why is he not traveling the way he used to travel before? He cannot really fool anybody. He can only fool these people that he's finding on Tinder and all these weird places. Seriously, those are the only people he can fool. Not having a bank account, and it was Nancy and Korra's part exactly that helped her to get one, and get access to her money. You see, that yes, that's another thing that really pained him. You understand? These people, their own is to be in charge of everything. The money you're making, they are shining their eyes on it. Like, if your own money, they will not allow you to spend your own money. Your own money, they will want to tell you how to spend and what, and you don't dare tell them what to do with their own money. But your own money, they want to tell you what you're going to do with it. That's muzungus for you.
To say.
Wow. I didn't know you said that. But have you noticed though, if Korra was that, my question again is, if Korra was that horrible, why is it dating women?
Just as if technology is really affecting our culture, uh, um, in as much as it's contributing some positive, but it's really affecting a lot. Seriously, technology and the world, and where the world is going, yo, it is. Angela said, "I work with children, and there's a course called Mandatory Reporter for children who are in any kind of danger. Doesn't this lady know about it?" Well, she don't they used to call themselves the smartest? Anybody that's associated with JD, they always see themselves as the smartest in the planet. But at the same time, we don't know. Like, when I mean we don't know, they will come and tell this kind of stories, and we don't know why the right authorities that are supposed to be hearing these things are yet. But I think they're kind of afraid of JD, because I think there are things they've done behind closed doors, behind the scene, where and they know that the kind of later, when they were doing those things, they didn't know. But now that they know the kind of person that JD is, they are afraid that if they would take these things to CPS or the police or whatnot, JD might bring out those other things, and they will be implicated in one way or the other. And they too, they will be going down, or at least community service or some form of punishment. So I think that's why none of them has ever said anything to CPS, police, or anything. They just come out because he has, tarnished their image, lied on them, or not tell the whole truth about something that happened, or didn't say it the way it happened, because that's one thing that JD is good at. They come out and they start telling all these things that will make a normal person to ask, you knew all these things, why are you telling us now? And why are we the ones hearing this now? Like, why the right? Because if the right people had this stuff when they went to court, maybe the outcome would have been different. But you see, uh, there's so much
That
questions for
looks
people like Jeba.
like her
Literally.
or the appearance. So what's your take on that?
Well, one, my take is I'm upset that
Exactly, that old
so
car.
many beautiful black
Run
women have
M.
agreed to be in his presence. And I'm like, honestly, I'm like, had I been curious
Like a
enough about
funeral
this to
car.
really do a deep dive,
Oh
I
God.
think just a Google image search, just seeing the different black women that he has been
Absolutely, Run
next to
M.
them to like
That
killer
was the goal.
spotlight, like I would have been disgusted. But I also think, yeah, it's a very weird way to still be
Their own is
obsessed
sit,
with someone that I guess you love.
because they always have this that, oh, yeah, they always know that uh women of color are very strong people, so their job is they will just sit immediately. They just find one person of color, they want to sit and do nothing. You walk and they collect all the money. They don't help, they don't do anything. You just walk, and they're in charge of the funds. Typical them.
Someone so much that you hate them is what it seems. Um, I don't know. I think it's unhealthy, and it's clear that Korra has enough success in her life to fully move on and never have to reference this man again. But this man, like, he needs an excuse to still be relevant. Because I'm like, if Korra has full custody of the kids, what is
Here on MZ is great, not technology.
But like now he's back to just being a chiropractor, which he should have just been focused on this whole time.
Well, his game was at the time his game was, or what he said out loud was that if he came out first, so he would be believed. His game was to take ruin her reputation, take all her followers, and nobody will go back, and then she will be homeless and then end up. But unfortunately for him, yeah, when he first came, some people did believe him, some people did believe him, but as days started turning to weeks and weeks into months, from his own live videos, most of the things I say on my videos, as how what Korra said, are from his own live videos, he contradicts himself, and then people start shifting away from him. The same thing. You know, he always call people toxic. The woman he called the most toxic one on his page, 100% ology, was the woman that later leaked after the whole thing. After she fell out, whatever, leg went to that. The woman was sending money. She sent money to that white woman that came to his house for groceries. Can you believe that? Once he has to do with money, he doesn't care where it comes from. He just believes women should work for. Work.
You know, I can see that. I think with him going and
let me see this. Keep going.
With him taking, a mental health break from the internet after being, so low, like getting to such a point of depression in the house, and to see him going back and like just I guess finding out how much he started to earn on Facebook from the engagement.
Absolutely.
He's like, I'm just going back. I'm unblocking all of my haters.
Absolutely.
The haters give you the biggest engagement. And
Joseph,
I'm like, what is going on? What is wrong with you? So yeah, he wants the fame. Trust me.
I can tell you most clearly my own. That's now. I want to.
The thing is, Korra didn't even know that she was the one that served the arrow. The way she said she served it, but anybody that is associated with JD, Korra will be silly to even pay attention to that kind of person, because you never know. You never know. It could be a setup. So when they keep talking about, oh, if you need something from, so who will need something from you? Somebody that is running away from somebody that is running away from JD will come and be talking to you that you've been dining and whining with JD and didn't see anything wrong with what JD was doing to her.
Now, I can tell you that why he ran out the way he ran. He didn't want to divorce. Was he had 100% control of the money. He comes and claims he's a traditional man.
Right, I think that's what it is. Yeah,
value. But then but then Korra making money, he spend.
Well, Ron M, I don't know for other people, but as an African, just like as an African, handing money to if you're married to an African woman married to an African man, handing money to that's a normal thing, and part of the African culture is even in homes where modern day now maybe they're doing it differently because things are changing, but in those days, yes, money is, yes, you can hand over the money to the man. There are people that work and they hand over the money to their husbands, and then there are some that don't hand over the money, but when like if family members come to ask for help and the man does not have the money and the wife has the money, you don't give money saying, my husband said I should give you this. The money is coming from the woman's pocket, but she presents it to the person asking for help, saying that it's the man that is giving. The woman never says that she's the one giving. It is always said, my husband said I should give you. My husband said, that's what you will hear. Even though that money or food, clothes, or anything, that thing is not coming from the man, but they do that. So as an African person, when people say this about them, like, you have to understand the culture. And because sometimes people get angry, like, but why do they hand over to these Muzungus and all of that? Like, it's not just, it's about the culture. The way an African sees marriage is not the way the rest of the world, America, Europe, Asian, what sees listen, marriage. Okay, like, it's not that sacred for people. Some people just walk in, walk out, walk in, walk out, and it's just very easy for them. But for Korra, it would have been a normal thing for JD to handle the finances, because it happens. It happens. There are people handing over their income, and the home is being run properly and everything is going that way. But then at the same time, there are women that are still handing over and the men are busy squandering the money. So it can go both ways. So I think these people like JD, they've taken their time to kind of dig in deep and find out certain things about the culture and the beliefs of people before they go and marry from there. Because at the same time, if you wanted a black woman, there are black Americans there. If he would have married, he would have married one. You understand? uh Because that one is from the same country as you and whatnot. So you, before you open your mouth, the other person already knows where you're going with that, and she shuts it down because you people are from the same country and your lifestyles and everything is similar in a way, because you know the laws and what to do and whatnot. You understand? But he didn't do that. He went all the way to where she would not complain and didn't ask questions, even though she was making a lot of money. If he would have just done the right thing and be a good person, they would still be together till now. Trust me, it was not about the money or anything for Korra. Korra would have been fine allowing him to handle the finances and whatnot. Whatever he spends, as far as they have enough money to take care of the kids, take care of the home, do things that she wants to do, take care of their family and everything, Korra will not question how much that JD is spending. And that's an African woman for you. They're not going to question. It's only when you start squandering and important things are not being handled. Like JD will notice that he doesn't like school. Oh, the children don't have to go to this school. An African person loves education. So there are just certain things that Korra would want and he might not want to do it. And that's when red flags will start flying. And she will want to know what her finances, and she will want to, start handling her finances so she can make decisions.
Why is he disrespecting her and asking her what do you bring to the table? She didn't have a bank account. So earlier 2022, just before the birth of Korra, with the support of her family, supported her to go and open her own bank account.
This batteries. I didn't even notice.
Agreed to
Give me a
60,
second.
40. She'll be paying 60% while he within 40. I guess all the plan, because he's always planned to leave her anyway. 2 years period. He say about the Brazilian girl. He's already told the Brazilian.
Cheryl said, I sense that she was still protecting him. Just listen to how she answered some of the questions. Some of Yes, of course. Even the way when she was talking about how he knocks himself up with that beer, something alcohol, and whatnot. It was like, well, it's not like that's the thing with these people. That's why I feel like there's something they've done that they don't want anybody to know about, or they feel like that would be an issue if CPS or the police gets to find out for them also, because JD will sing. JD knows that he's got what? He's not going to keep quiet. Somebody that can come out and say you stole his $7,000 camera. Is that the person that will be quiet? No, So yeah.
Because of student loan, but because of that, I'm not in control of the 100% of the money now. Then I have to do it quickly. But it's not where it is now, in my opinion, because
Ron M said I had nothing over
after
it.
everything he did to Korra, after everything he was telling Korra's family, the dad about Korra when they were still together, that he stood by her. He's shocked that people are now. He didn't understand how the internet works. Now they're attacking him.
This Ron M comment just got me rolling. I said I'm not handing anything over. Some of this conversation is what we should just have a special live stream where we'll be discussing all this, because there's so much that people will not that people will not understand. And someone's like, is this one like yo? Some of these things are not stupid. It's part of the culture. That's why Ron said I'm not handing nothing over. Really, an African woman would not give you and say I'm giving you this out of my pocket. The least they would do is to tell you that this is what I and my husband is supporting you with. But trust me, majority of the time you're hearing that both of us, that thing is coming from one person. You understand? It's not coming from both of us. One person is doing it, but they always, because it's believed that you always have to protect and cover the shame of your partner. You don't, but you always have to cover up. But Muzungus, they don't do that. It's not part of their culture. When they give something, they give and they tell you, I am giving. They don't give in the name of family, like say, no, they don't. But I think because it's part of our culture, we always give in the name of I and my husband, even though the husband is not involved in any of those giving things.
Attacking her, he is not handling it well. But Korra seems to double down and making our money with God on our side, with Koreans, and he doesn't like that.
Yep. This is so strange. Okay, now I'm looking at the comments too. Let me see. Does he have pictures of Korra in his house? Not that I've seen. No, I mean, but he definitely has on his phone.
Yes, tell us about that one.
They're on his phone for
How
sure.
did they ask you about the titties phone to have?
It was just, first of all, it's like now that I understand who this man is, I'm like, there are things that he's always gonna, mention. So people, just to plant a seed of curiosity or to like steer the conversation in a certain way. So he was kind of just mentioning, I guess, the people that he's dated, and that's to establish, oh, I'm a successful white doctor and I date black beautiful women.
That has dated the whole world.
About none of it, but
You
that's
wish.
where he's trying to like lead me. And I'm like, oh, okay. So, and he asked if I wanted to see his ex. I'm like, okay, not really. And he's like, oh, really? She's beautiful.
No, Joseph. When the point is not that she did wrong, but some people, because now if you remember that people from different culture and everything is listening and following this thing, and a lot of people cannot understand some of the decisions that Korra made. So we explaining this is to kind of let people know about some of the African culture, tradition, and beliefs and things that we do that to the outside world they might look at it as stupidity. But when you kind of explain it that this is something that it's not only this person, it's not only Korra, then they kind of like, okay, it's something that you people can just easily do. It's something you people believe. That's how, and that's how I talk about marriage. And I always say it that the way we Africans, we see marriage as sacred and this and that, the rest of the world, they don't care. Like they just walk in, they walk out. If anything is anyhow, today these people they're married there, tomorrow they're out, the other they're marrying another one, the next time they're out, the next thing then, do you understand? But it's not something that is commonly you're hearing. Stay there, walk it out. Do so. It's different between if somebody from the other part of the world says, oh, this is how marriage is going, nobody's telling them stay there to they're telling you, well, if it's not, don't kill yourself, go. But as an African person, you get the rest. When you get is marriage is always not bed of roses. Try to toughen it out. Try to do this. You have to sacrifice. You have to this. You have to that. Not a lot of people believe in any this thing. So sometimes explaining, so people get to understand why certain things were actually done. Because for some people it was a huge shock that Korra was making the kind of money Korra was making. JD was in charge of the fund. People couldn't just relate. People couldn't understand why JD would be in charge of Korra's money. And the fact that they were in the United States and he was in charge of, that's very strange. Being the fact that like they're not two Africans, it's okay because they're two Africans, they're still, even though they are now outside the continent, they're still respecting their no. But JD knows what he was doing, and mostly he just kept lying and manipulating so he will keep being in charge of her funds, not even letting her spend her money, that she was the one creating content and everything. So what parent goes into deep sleep and not check on after he knocks himself out with that alcohol? First time I'm hearing this, that a parent with little children will just knock themselves out with something to sleep. How do you even sleep? You're not thinking that you wake up the next morning. So many things can just happen in the night that you have to wake up and always check on the children, check on your children. You're just knocking yourself off to sleep. That's not something you do when they are little.
She's a Nigerian singer, blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, fine, show me a picture. And he shows me like a nice one of her, and I'm like, oh, she's beautiful, wow, amazing. And then literally right after that, he was like, do you want to see her boobs? But she was pregnant with June.
Oh my god.
Oh.
I said, I'm like, even saying it now, it still disgusts me.
Wow.
I'm upset for that woman. How nasty.
Oh,
it just makes it
wow.
worse because he's white. I'm like, I know he's saying that, but
why would you think that it's right for him to show another woman that he's trying to use hooking up with?
Why would
the body of another
but
woman?
It also shows the quality of women that he typically associates with. Because I'm like, he wouldn't ask that if he thought there was no chance I would say yes. Like, why would I want to be a part of that? So I think that's his thing, like in his mind. And he's joked about it before that he wants like an all female, like a harem of like beautiful women. And he's like, oh, and he went from a traditional man to provide to like, and you know, the economy is getting crazy. So
I don't blame you people at all. Because some of these men, they don't deserve, in fact, it goes both ways, okay? Some of these men and women, they don't deserve covering their asses. If they broke, they're broke. Just in our culture, we give, but we say who is giving. Ron, it's you that is seeing it as a lie. In this, then they said, cover the shame of the partner. You know, that's what it is. So it's not even being seen as a lie. It's being seen as you covering up for the family. You know, that's how it's been seen. So you don't get to say that, well, the person does not have right now to give you, so I'm giving out of my pocket. No, you just say, this is what we have now. We don't have enough, but this is what we can afford now, so take. But some people will even come and say, this is what he can afford now, and he doesn't have so much when he would do something for you, and then they will give.
Only way to really survive is to have like a group family.
Can we listen to this now? You know that question Latanya Divers asked. Yeah. About what are your thoughts in him saying that Baby J looks like the type of woman he would date? So a woman called Susan and said, did he do that? Did he say that? And Latanya now said, in the evidence he submitted to the court, he submitted text messages between him and Korra. And she asked him if he was touching Baby J. And he said she's the type of girl he would date. Oh my God.
No. I really hope that was not in response to that question. Absolutely not. I'm just going to hope for my own sanity and
peace of evidence.
That those were separate conversations. Oh, yikes.
I missed that one completely. I did miss that one completely.
Yikes.
Oh my God.
But again, that's why I was taking as much documentation as I did, because in the beginning, I'm like, I want to capture the genuine nature of his relationship with his daughters as it is. So I'm like just looking for, I'm like, are they reacting uncomfortably when he comes next to them? You know, do they feel comfortable coming to him? Do they feel comfortable when he comes, to hug them, whatever? So I'm like, I did not see any of that weirdness, but I definitely agree that is a strange thing to say. And I think very strange. Yeah, and I think just from the mindset of someone who has a fetish, and doesn't really see Black women as women, I feel like it might be, how Trump talks about Ivanka, right? Like that weird sort of stuff, where it's like, oh, if she wasn't my daughter, she'd be my wife, something like that. I feel like people with fetishes can separate themselves from the humanity of people of that other race. So if that's how he looks like at Black women in general, it's possible that he could look at a young Black child that way, but that's disgusting.
Oh my God. That's terrible. Terrible. Somebody wants to know, said, please, Nkem, ask Jiba what he does. He did what we call fire energy ritual. So, did they come to the house? How did they do? What did they do? Did you witness it?
I just witnessed the first session where it was like, which was in the house, where it was these two interesting characters, I guess, like who feel like they're maybe like white witches, like good witches or something. I got the energy. But it was like
I think I missed a lot of these things. I thought I was in tune with what is going on, but I'm seeing
it's too much. It's a crazy person, so there's too much information.
I'm seeing a lot of things here now. Mr. Korra wrote, but Jiba, June was recorded saying he touched her bum and she saw blood.
What does that
mean? Now we know his obsession with that type of thing is ringing alarm bells. What do you think haven't been around?
She saw blood.
That's really, can read Mr. Korra's statement there. It's not me. Yeah. That is scary. I didn't even know that happened. I missed that completely until now. I completely missed that.
I hope that is not the case. Like, if it is, I'm wondering how he still has so many supporters.
Please like up the live, like up the live, sprinkle some love, sprinkle some love. You can see the links of the coffee, the PayPal, Vimo, even me, Sam Mister. Subscribe to my page.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. Somebody asked it. Let me find another question I was going to ask before that came up. All this proof. Anyway, yes, before this thing happened, before this thing they're talking about, when baby A was still very young, there were videos of him when they were still playing with him, that he was like trying to play with her, but it was, his cucumber was just the place where he was putting the girl, and a lot of people screenshot that and showed a lot of things there. But at the time, I didn't say anything. This is now ringing alarm bell, to be honest. If he could say, she looks at the kind of woman he could date, or the kind of women he would date. That is strange. That is really strange.
I will say that, I mean, by the time I arrived there, I think...
Sorry, I'll just allow you people to listen. It's 12 midnight my time. I'll just go and be preparing some stuff. So I'll let this play. Let me just put the comments.
He was already maybe on high alert or aware that was there were big allegations against him in terms of like him and his kids. So I will say that he was, I think he definitely made sure to make sure the kids were not like sitting on his lap, or kind of, he was sure to like express, I don't know, try to like discipline them or like curb them away if they were kind of, I don't know, overly exposing themselves in his presence. But again, that could be acting to make up on the back end if he was doing something, unsavory previously and was suspected. So I don't know. All I can say is that if anything happened when I was there, he wouldn't be alive. So I did my duty as a guard.
All right, you try. You can do your best. You've done your best. You did your best to make sure the girls have structure at the time with what you have got with you. Somebody else, does she know? Now somebody's asking, do you know anything about his traveling to Portugal? And also the person that he went to, was that his national party?
That's funny.
I don't know.
And this is his rich friend that he's always talking about. No, that was for a legitimate sports trip. I don't know what happened on the trip. Was that his? Oh, I see the question now. That's funny. Yeah, I don't know. I know the person paid for the trip, and he was hyped to go on a free trip, get flown out like a baddie. But that's all the information I have on that.
So, from the video I watched about that you gave interview to Anora, he just kind of said something quickly and went on that. He tried to threaten you with an email. What was that? Is it like a cease and desist or something?
That's what the subject line said, but the email was never read. Like I'm tired of it. I'm like, if there's important information, it'll make its way to me. But I don't, like, he's ruined my day enough with texts and emails, so I'm not checking for it.
So let me ask you about your NDA agreement. Do you think that will come back and hurt you? Is it legally admissible in court? Have you got anything to protect yourself in case it takes you to court?
I think, what is it called? Honestly, it is what it is. I think mentally, this man brought me to a place that was so concerning and devastating that I do have, I think it's clear that I don't want to say I wrote it under duress, but I wrote that under a lot of distress, and I feel like the right lawyer and the right judge can see it for what it is, as me trying to protect myself from somebody who is kind of in control of my livelihood, and sort of an attempt to rein in this person who is purposely kind of making me unsure about whether or not I'm welcomed in this place. So, I mean, I mean, I was definitely scared in the beginning, but I'm like, as I continue to exist in New York and can't afford it, and I'm like, well, you know, something I've asked him several times to help me. Like literally, none of this would have happened if he would have just been a decent human being and just assisted me on my transition out of his house. Because I had legal rights as a tenant to stay there. You know, like people do that in California all the time. They'll become squatters and they'll end up like evicting the other person, you know, who was actually paying for the place, right? And his
You see what I'm talking about. You see what Jeba is saying. If he had just made her transition smooth, none of these things would have, like she won't be talking about it. That's why she offered that, she offered that NDA. That's why she offered that NDA thing. So for those of you asking why didn't she say anything to the police or the CPS, you have your answer here. If JD had not come out to run his mouth, Jeba wouldn't even be talking. Yeah, she is. From what she's saying, from the way she talks, you know that she's holding back a lot.
Lord told me that too. So I think I guess I became homeless because I was trying to do right by my own nervous system and not try to fight back by extending my time in a place where somebody was being so nasty to me.
Somebody asked a question here. Sorry, somebody asked a question. Said, "Is he owing?" There was a time we heard he was owing the landlord some money. Is it true? Is he still owing?
He's always behind on rent. Please, he's always behind on rent. And actually, the landlord oh my god, it was so awkward. I think I was trying to head outside, and the landlord comes upstairs, and he's like, "Hey, by the way, can you?" He's like, "Is Justin home?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but I think he's in his room or something." And he's like, "Yeah, can you tell him I'm here?" And I'm like, "Oh, this is urgent. Okay, this is not. You can't just text it. Okay." And so like that was awkward. But yeah, he's generally forgetful, and that has happened quite a few times.
All right.
And he has told me that the rent is more than he realistically can afford. And to a certain extent, he was, trying to stunt and kind of show that he can have a place as nice as his ex-wife's, even though, again, it is putting him financially in a bind.
I can tell you that house, he didn't want to. What he was telling people when he wanted to move from the beach house that Korra made possible, was that he was going to move into a close where he has this Nigerian family. They'll be looking after their kids, taking time to look about each other's kids, like helping each other. Yeah. But then his group, those women that were sending him money, doing GoFundMe for him, they had this idea that because Korra lived in a one-bedroom apartment, that when she does her life, that she's hiding the kids, and which she never did. She had paid living nanny at the time, but they would they lie and with different story they come up with. So at the time, those women were the one that convinced him. So if you get a bigger house, they're going to support you. That will translate to love for the kids, and you're going to get full custody. And when he was doing that, he actually was, I don't know if you met it, in the day area, the lounge there, he had a slide there, he had some tunnels there. He was preparing the kids for work. And he took Korra to the judge, when they were one of the judges they were, and he asked the judge that Korra had other source of livelihood. They should take the kids off Korra's life.
Yeah.
But that Facebook at the time was his only source of livelihood. They should leave the kids on his own life. But however, the judge felt that all the things they were coming there for all the time were just about life, and life.
Right.
The judge said that was when the judge said that the kids should be off both of their lives.
Yeah.
But he got that house. He knew he couldn't pay. Even Kim Baker, one of the leaked documents, said to him, "Why don't you go? You are fighting for full custody. Go and get more jobs so that when you have full custodies of these kids or these girls, you'll be able to provide for them instead of."
Sorry. It's 12 midnight my time, so I'm trying to just let you people listen to what they're talking about while I try to sort out some stuffs here. So that's why you're not hearing me talk. I apologize.
Him to think about it and digest and reflect. What he told this woman is, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Once I have full custody, my financial constraint will be over. I'll be able to go live with the kids.
Wow.
Him saying he's the only one, he's the one that's filed for.
You have a point there on M. That has always been his goal.
Oh, you know, he mentioned that.
It will make him feel powerful.
And I think I took a video of it because it was cute. And he's like, oh, you know, Ginny, he's like, remember when I used to play with you guys over here, like on the floor? She's like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, we used to get paid from that. We used to make a lot of money. And she's like, what? She's like, I want to make money from playing. And he was like, yeah, but we can't do that anymore. And I'm like, the setup.
He literally shot himself on the foot.
Good.
That was it. Okay. Now he's now claiming I'm the one that I don't want my kids on social media. No, that wasn't the narrative. It's just he said the narrative. Right. Guys, do you have any more questions for Jiba?
Oh yeah, we missed a couple. Okay, someone says, oh, why did the landlord not evict him? And does the landlord have a little sugar in his tank? The landlord is a very straight man, a very muscly guy, but he's super sweet, and he feels sympathy for Justin, and has said, he was like, I know the guy's a single dad, I know he's struggling in court, and
he knows how to make people feel sorry for him.
I don't want to put him and his kids out. So it's kind of a thing where, and Justin doesn't care enough to become a better tenant because he's used to taking advantage of people's kindness. So it's just that kind of thing. Yeah, somebody else said, wait, I just saw, the healers thing. Yeah, so that was the first session, and we just sat in his office, putting our hands above him and kind of putting good intention into him. Second time was, I guess they came to the house and like chanted throughout the house and like hung up crystals and like every corner of the house and every like middle of the wall in the house. It took a really long time. And yeah, that was because he was what is it called? He was convinced that he's like, why do you think Korra has kept winning? I haven't got a single win this whole time. He's like, it's because she's using black magic. And I'm like, okay.
But he told us that he's won every single case. That's what he tells his followers. He's won every single case.
The only reason why I even just entertained, like at the end, just going with him and just doing this stupid task that I didn't want to do, which is the restraining order thing, is because this whole time he was just like, just talking about, he's like, I haven't won anything. It's, what is it? The court is against me because I'm a white man and she's black and a woman, so they just listen to black women. And I'm like, the legal system now loves black women. Okay.
He went from, initially, he was, sorry, I cut you short. He went from, what he was telling Korra is, court is going to believe me. Oh, I'm going to win you. Court is going to believe me. You see, when they come here, they're going to believe me. I'm going to win. The police are going to support me. For about 12 months to 15 months, that was his song. But after they've gone to the court a few times and he didn't get what he wanted, he now turned around. No, the only reason I'm losing is because I have a cucumber and all that.
That's what I'm so that is what I really lost respect for him. And I'm like, oh, he seriously believes this? Because I actually advised him. I'm like, buddy, just FYI, I know that you say this to me all the time and you believe it, but I'm like, do not actually take your butt to court and make the case about race and gender. I'm like, it's one thing if you want to, play the victim card in terms of, by default, I guess judges tend to give the mom's custody. I'm like, if that's your thing, sure, say that. But I'm like, you will get laughed out of a courtroom if you try to take your white self with blue eyes and be like, it's because I'm white. That's everyone's attacking me because I'm white. Like, I'm like, you sound so delusional. And I'm telling you as just another human, to just give you that feedback that's not going to be received well. And he literally was like, why would you text me this before I have to go to court? And I'm like, okay. So I couldn't stop him from looking stupid and embarrassing himself.
one of us. Please show some love. Show Jiba some love, guys. 249 of us on this live. Please like up this live. Show us some love. Please put some love on our payment link, guys. Send stars. Send stars to me. I have subscription as well. Please, guys. I want to ask you one question. He's back now. I have a theory. I did my theory about why he's back.
He's back? Like on what, Facebook?
No, he's back on Facebook. He hasn't done a live. But after you did that with Amoira, first of all, you made a quote about surrounding yourself with amazing blah, blah, blah. And then the next day, being yesterday, he put a video out, him doing his educational content. Because every time he's on a corner, he comes with educational content. So, why do you think he's back? Because he hasn't been on live since the 24th until yesterday when he didn't go live anyway, but he did. So why do you think? I have my theory. I did a video last night about my theory. Why? Yeah. What do you think? Why do you think he's back after you just said that out?
I don't know. I mean, maybe I would feel very special if it was because of me. But I don't know. But maybe I don't know. I guess he thought that his work was done after he called me a thief and made up a couple of things. Apparently, it was alleging that I am out here doing drugs. But I'm like, so I guess he thought that would be the nail in the coffin. And I'm like, I'm like literally all I could. Oh, thank you, Kadeen. I appreciate that. Yeah. So I'm like, apparently, I guess that is the best he can come up with. Or I think. Oh, because after that. I guess
absolutely,
thing,
absolutely.
You have to do damage control. You can't have somebody say booty stuff about you and you just go to hide it. So I guess he needs to show up and be a man. Defend himself. Like he does.
Did he just come? Did he just say that he does drugs?
Yeah, no, he just sick. Apparently he's saying stuff like that about me.
Some of the things they say.
I think he ran away because you told him, "Are you trying to do me dirty while I have this about you, about the Nyash thing?" That's my theory. I might be wrong, with just my opinion. So, and now that you have said it on Amoira's page, I think he tried to see if his supporters will say anything again, but they're kind of sympathetic towards him. So I think he just brought that video as a test that he loses fans.
Educational content.
Kind of relief. It's kind of relief you don't have that over him. That's my theory anyway. I don't know.
That's funny.
Anyway.
Someone said he deleted the video after.
Absolutely. It's pathetic the way he behaved.
He deleted the one he called you. He said, "I'm defending my reputation from a thieving." The title was "Defending My Reputation from a Thieving Nanny." He did delete that one.
Because he didn't have a nanny, because he was poor. A friend who volunteered, okay?
And the funny thing about the whole thing, tell us about the camera, because he wanted to bring evidence, he ended up not bringing evidence. But then he talked about the person that sat in his house, that home sat the house. Said he didn't. Now he changed during the live. He said you were caught trying to. You didn't steal. He called you a thief, but he's now trying to.
So I'm an unsuccessful thief. Is what he. First of all, if I do something, I'm going to succeed. That's disrespectful. Like ew. Second of all, the girl who I guess stood by him was the girl who I guess. Who was staying at the house for like 2 to 3 weeks at that point. Like she was essentially a Haitian girl. So I am also Haitian, but he tried to get us to bond over that. And I'm like, I don't know what you're trying to set up here, but absolutely not. So I'm like, I just kept my distance from her. But yeah, she went to the beach with them. Was that on June's birthday? It might have been actually. I think around the time of June's birthday was like the first time she came, I believe. And so she went to the beach with them. And when they came back, I think June was playing on her iPad. I'm like, oh, where's Athena? And he's like, oh, she's in the bathroom. And I'm like, and I hear the shower on. I'm like, she knows how to use the shower? And he's like, oh no, the whatever her name is in there. And I'm like, you have a non-related female? Yes. Yeah. So I'm like there's anything that he tries to make about me, I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm far more concerned about the well-being of your kids than you, and that is not how it should be. So that girl, she's trying to I mean, he already told me about her. Like, she wants some sort of citizenship thing. Um, and is kind of, she's like more into women than she's into men, but she's been trying to like form a relationship to eventually get married. And I think she is more easy to control than me, I guess. And so that's who he brought in to start like replacing me once I told him, that I wanted to quit. And he's like, no, just give me 30 days notice, give me 30 days to prepare. But I'm like, oh, okay. And but as soon as I told him, he was in the DMs working on getting her to come here for free childcare. So that's that girl. And when I came, that was the last day I came to that house after I like went to the hospital because I needed a place to sleep. I came back because I think I couldn't stay overnight. So I came back. I just texted him at like 3 a.m. I'm like, dude, I'm like, do not say anything, please. I'm like, I'm just giving you a heads up that I need to come back to the house. Not gonna do anything, blah blah blah. I just need a place to put my suitcases, take a nap, and then I'm going to check into a hotel. And so I was at the house just for a few hours, literally just took a nap. And then I went to look for a knee brace in his office. There was none there, and so I went into his room, which I've like helped reorganize, I've cleaned many times before, whatever. Knocked on the door first, didn't hear an answer, so I'm like, oh, okay, great, he's not home. I didn't feel like having a confrontation. Perfect. And so I just go to his, what is it? Just his work desk, and I just pull open like a big drawer, seeing if there's a loose knee brace in there. There's nothing in there, but I'm like, as I'm pulling the drawer, I see this girl in his bed. It's 2 p.m. This girl is like in bed, acting like I disturbed her, and like she's more shocked to see me than I am to see her. And I'm like, oh, I had no idea you were still here. Did you move in? But basically, she sat up and she was like, hey, is everything okay? Do you need something? And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry to wake you up. I knocked on the door. I didn't know anyone was here. I was just looking. I was looking for a knee brace. I showed her my hospital thing. I'm like, I just came back to the hospital. Was just looking for a knee brace. I don't see one. It's fine. I'm sorry. And so that's a good point, Marlene. Yes, the Haitian woman is into women, and she was dating a female child. Yes. And so, yeah, that was that. And I just went to just get my suitcases and stuff. And now the girl was just freaking out, like calling Justin, like, oh my God, I'm on vacation. How could she do this? I'm on vacation.
Seriously,
like,
on M.
And so I tried to apologize to her again, but she was like wanted to fight.
He knows what he's doing, that's for sure.
Do that, because the reality is that on my way out, actually, she stole something from me. She stole a birthday gift that I got. And I texted Justin. I'm like, hey, I don't want this to be a whole thing.
Okay, so once more, shout out to Nkem Okafor, because this is an interview that Nkem Okafor did on Facebook, and shout out to her because this is her content. So if you're just joining us and you're not sure what we're listening to, that's what we're listening to. So this is someone else that also, another blogger that actually interviewed JD's nanny, Jeba. So that's what we're listening to. The first one that we did, was it last week or so, or how many weeks ago now, was Let's Talk About It with Amora here on YouTube. And now this is another interview that Jeba just granted, and it's on Facebook. And the person's name is Nkem or Four on Facebook.
You can tell her that, something that she grabbed was yours, tell her that I'm not like trying to call the police or anything. I just want my stuff before I leave. And this was the last day, like when I was packing, trying to leave this house. So I had to wait like another 2 hours for him to get home. And
Joseph, Jeba will not talk about those things. So why is Jeba not telling us those things that she hoped she could get from JD? I believe she had an idea of what she was expecting from all of his drama. One thing I noticed from what Jeba is saying is, all when they say certain things to her, she will laugh and she will say he was broke, he's poor, or if he was rich. So that's something, if you notice from her other interview, when she shades him, she always talks about the rich, 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 money, 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 money. So maybe I think when they swiped, or however they used to do it on Tinder, where they met, the way he sold himself, according to her, he had like a photo where he was in a limousine, he had some kind of thing, he was a doctor, he was this and that. So she was really thinking this was a successful doctor, and she was going to, be marrying or be dating or be in a relationship with a successful doctor. And that looked good, but only for her to come in and see that this was a broke doctor. uh and that was a kind of turn off for her, but she needed a place to stay anyway, so she just couldn't pull out just like that. But I believe if Jeba had everything figured out, or at least had money to rent a place of her own, or had a over her head in California, she wouldn't have stayed 7 months with JD. She would have left when she noticed that JD was broke, because she wasn't looking for a broke man. She was looking for somebody that is already made.
Didn't tell me like, oh, she didn't steal anything. It's impossible, because I was watching her the whole time, and I'm like, you were literally gone for 2 hours. So it's like he's very irresponsible with his guests.
She said she went to the hospital.
Here, I actually hid my stuff. I hid all of my jewelry, hid all my passport, all of my nice things. And he was like, you didn't have to do that. She wouldn't steal. And I'm like, you don't know that. Everybody here is a stranger.
Exactly.
Like, that's why you got like, and that's the thing where I was kind of upset at him for still taking so many risks. I'm like, you're lucky that you met me and a good person. But I'm like, I'm not going to sit by while you keep taking the same risk when it's unnecessary, just because you want, you want to look at a different woman taking care of your kids. Like, you're like, that's, and you're going to blow up your kids' sort of infrastructure at home. So it is, yeah, it's that girl who lied and said I took a camera. But I'm like, I left half of my.
Doesn't that make it allegedly? That's what they're saying. So that's the other lady was into women. Then it makes that they're gonna all swing all three together. Like it's gonna be, it's gonna be a 3S. A 3SOME. You know what I mean? They do it one time, so they don't take off their clothes multiple times. Weirdos.
Things at his house, they're still there. And
goodness, I beg.
I had to pack light. I could only bring a few suitcases, so I'm like, I didn't even have room to take my favorite things. So I'm
Ron M, I don't even want to even think towards that. Yeah.
Like, I don't know why I would have taken a camera instead of my own nice.
It's crazy. Stuff. While you're talking about that camera, I have a story to tell you about the camera. So when they were, Korra, he keeps saying about traditional man. He brought that woman from China. That man took him to Nigeria. They fed him and all that for almost a year. Put clothes on him, said, and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Jeba is the weapon that fashioned against JD, and JD himself is also the weapon that fashioned against himself, because he will use his hand to go and find the ant infested wood, and then when he starts playing the victim. I think Jeba came in not knowing so much about JD, but where I kind of fault Jeba is when Jeba started noticing the kind of person that JD was. Why did you still stay? Why did you even allow him to lure you into serving Korra that restraining order? Like, you knew you shouldn't have done that, because according to you, you kept telling him, I don't want to be roped into you and your ex-wife's drama. She shouldn't have accepted to go serve that restraining order to Korra when you were the one taking care of that woman's children, and you're serving her restraining order.
Wow.
And all that. Yeah, and all that. But then, because that during the time of Juni's pregnancy, as soon as she came to America, she fell pregnant and all that. He couldn't provide for her. She literally.
You know what? I feel like he is of the mindset, like he likes to trap women. So I think the pregnancies were definitely planned, but intentional from his end, and I think that's disgusting. I mean, he at least confirmed that about Athena. Like, that was a revenge.
Yeah, from Athena's zone, because already Korra said a few times he wants to leave. It was kind of, if you have 2 babies, you can't leave.
How disgusting.
Kind of clothes and all that. But anyway, let me ask this. Like, what I was saying, going about that camera stuff is, so Korra now went on the street wearing cards. When she fell pregnant, the mother instinct kicked in. She was like, I'm going to be here and I'm going to die of hunger with my baby. So the mother instinct kicked in. There was a woman she met, a Lagosian she met, and again she met that. She went to her, look, how do you guys do this thing? The woman said, can you do? She was already on the charts in Nigeria, but she came here because of love and gave up all that. And then when she now came out, she was like, oh, I'm pregnant. I cannot do this. They were sleeping anywhere. They even slept. He slept in a drug house. They were sleeping at the floor where he's doing his chiropractor. She's like, oh, no, I can't do this. She now got a costume. This lady helped her to get a Catwoman costume. She was 4 months pregnant. She was going out to beg for alms on the street of LA to put food on his table. So anyway, wow. And also to save money for Juni's delivery, for baby J's delivery. I'm just telling story now because we're going to round up. I'm going to ask one question and we're going to round up because my fan will want to keep you here. We need to go.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
And she saved money. She was there. She now gave herself target. She was bringing money and giving. That's how they saved money for June's delivery. The first time she saved 5,000. They told them 5,000 for the delivery. She thought it was 5,000. After that, they said, oh, they're going to another 5,000 for the consultant. She cried and said, oh, no. After crying, she had to go back. So I think that's my opinion now is I think after that experience, she decided that her next baby, when she fell pregnant with Athena, she decided that she was going to have her life at home to make it cheaper. Wow. So she has camera and all that. But right about the back of Athena, the camera disappeared. That was when this man was planning to leave slowly. So that's my theory now, my opinion. He was getting all that. But anyway, months down, the camera got missing and disappeared and nobody knew about the camera. And then I think last year, September, I did a video, I called itself Hollywood Leveling Up 101, whatever. I was like, oh, that is the camera. But nobody still said anything about the camera until he came back and said, Korra was doing something. He tried to call Korra. When he did that, oh, look at the camera that she said was missing. It was in the attic. She hid it in the attic and all that. Then we went, oh, you are not confessed. So you are the one that actually hid the camera because she doesn't have the camera. You have it. That was when people now brought out when he was saying leveling up and all that. So that camera was actually Korra's camera.
This man.
He's trolling.
Wow.
So because he thought he would get all our followers and all that. He didn't know that content creating.
It's not about using $7,000 camera.
And he didn't know that he needs a personality to be a
to be able to content create. So every time he's in a pickle, he will come back and say, I want to do it. All I want to do is educational content.
So do it. Have you seen educational? I haven't seen much.
That's typical JD. Don't you see, even with his chiropractor job, he cannot even sit and do his job.
Let me ask you the last question. And
he loves to just chill.
Thank you so much for joining. Guys, please, we are 243 of us here. Please show her some love. It's a season for giving. It's as if I will do 2 questions. One person asked here, because he came out one time to after people said, after the attack on Korra in London and all that, he came to say that people were at 2 a.m. in his house, people in hoodie will come and knock on. He lives upstairs. I don't know how they were knocking on his door and all that. So this lady here, Tina Shibada, said, can you ask if at any point there were any men in hoodies knocking on his doors and windows at 2 a.m. at night? I know the answer is no. Just try to use it as an example. Can I answer?
Because I was living there as well. I would have also been scared. What? Oh, he wants to be a main character. Bad. Oh my God. People were knocking on his door. No, I did not experience any of that. But I mean, he was trying to talking about how she would probably. Oh, he said that she tried to intimidate him the first time around and was sending people.
JD's job is just to lie.
Sending black men to intimidate him.
Yeah. Sending.
Sure.
Huh. He was the other way around.
May God forgive these Muzungus, these Oyimbos.
Okay, well, this man is really weaponizing Dania.
He was.
I wish I knew that so I could have reported him. I wish I knew about this man. Oh. No, he has to get off these platforms. I gotta organize in Los Angeles. He has to get off these platforms. That's crazy.
Somebody here, Marlon Smith is asking. He admitted that the woman, that's the Haitian woman you're talking about, is a.
Joseph, the thing is, even if he's not directly involved by telling somebody to go do something like that, indirectly, the way he has portrayed her, the way he's made people to believe that she's such a terrible person, one of these people will just be angry enough to carry out such, you know, nonsense. So directly or indirectly, somehow, because he brought all of this thing online and he kept bashing her and bashing her and bashing her. 2 years plus, you keep bashing one person, you keep recruiting people to go and report the page, report her business, report the gigs, that anybody that tries to work with her as an influencer, you go and mess it up with you and your cohort. So he did so much that you know, it's reasonable when people are saying, even if you're saying you're not directly involved, you didn't send anybody. The way he even came out when everybody was feeling sorry for her, he said, oh, people have done this before, that's what celebrities do. Why are you playing down on somebody's attack? Somebody was attacked, you're playing down on that. How is that even something to look at and laugh over and say nothing happened to him, nothing happened to her, nothing happened to her? You kept screaming. As were you there in London? Were you there when the attack occurred? No, you were not there. Why do you think you have the right to insert yourself? Nobody invited you into this. That's your ex-wife. Why are you inserting yourself into that? But that's typical JD for you.
Is a lesbian, and she is behind the doors in a bathroom, bathing baby. What madness is this? He needs to be. My God, that's crazy.
I think his excuse was that she's just rinsing her off because they just came back from the.
Well, you weren't there. He wasn't there.
Exactly. And I when I said to him, I'm like, oh, by herself, like she's in there by herself, and he's like, yeah, that's fine. And like after I kind of raised the issue, he didn't even go back to try to like, oh yeah, just no, I'm watching them, everything's fine. Like he's too casual. And again, like that's exactly how my dad was. I have a dad who is unfortunately, let's say, if Justin was smarter, like my dad is like the grand master of being a horrible man and like a man who just uses women. So I think what is it called? Yeah, Justin is just a less smart version of that. No, like he's really
he comes and tells people that black people, we are not critical thinkers.
Oh,
that is,
oh my God.
He's a doctor, but then everything is us. Thank you. I've seen people that
really he said something like that. I must have missed that one.
For sharing. Guys, please, we're gonna come off live now. Please sprinkle some love. Thank you for sharing. We need to leave now. Thank you so much for coming. Did he tell you anything about Winter? Well, I call her Winter. Her name is Summer.
He just said when we met, he was like he was, what is it called? I guess sad about their breakup. He said they broke up like maybe a few weeks, like 4 weeks after he and I met. Yeah, I know he was sad. He kept mentioning like
he doesn't even give himself time to rest.
I'm like, I don't know what that's supposed to do for me.
What month did you meet him? Sorry, what month did you meet him?
I think March.
Yes. They broke up in April. I think it was April 19 or 22nd. I think it was April 22nd that we found out that they broke up. So let me tell you a story about Winter before we go. When all these things, he comes out to tell us that how horrible Korra is. Korra is using a platform to get people after him, blah, blah, blah. And he swore that in his next relationship that he will not date anybody on social media. If they have a following, he's gonna run.
That's a lie.
Wait now, I'm coming with my story. And here comes Winter. He's a model. She's a model, she's a veteran, she's a child psychologist. You know how he helps himself and all that. And anyway, Winter at one point got a contract with the LA modeling or whatever. He followed that. This man was literally
the cameraman
with his camera on. This man started begging this girl to come on live. At one point, he said, I could even put my table. I could put my table in your office there. That's her office and all. This lady knows her self-worth. She literally was begging her to come on live. And I think if you ask me, let her finish to talk about, she said, let me let you finish talk about Summer. But that's why I just you finish your talk about summer. That's what
No,
I
no,
want to
that's
do.
all I knew. All I knew is that they were like breaking up when we met and kind of ending things. I think up until like the first month I was there. Yeah, I don't have any special
Did it
information.
tell you why they broke up though? Did he tell you why they broke up?
No, but somebody mentioned it's because he was trying to get her to like be upset at Korra, like just get on board with that narrative. Is that it?
He wanted her to come on live, and there's a lady called Frida that bought the case. So I think what he was wanting was for her to come on live and go and be supporting. Why she wasn't doing that? He was there talking about Korra every single time they were there together. Jeez. And at one of the live he did, by the time we found out he was single, was one of the live he did, he said that the happiest he's ever been to date was his time with Korra in China. And then he had a woman in the house. The next day on her live video, somebody was like, "Oh, we like you both together. You make a powerful couple."
Yeah, yeah.
And then the lady went, "JD is single." Of course, we are going to go to his page to find out. While on his live next time, somebody said, "Are you saying, Wakola Winter? Winter and I are no more. Her choice. She's a good person. Go and support her." But then when she left, she was talking with her fingers. He had to send Farida. I call her Farida Frida to shut her and all that. Anyway, thank you so much for joining and for engaging. I appreciate you for coming on my page. Like I said, I've listened to you. What happened? Are you in contact with your mother, with your mom?
Yeah, just a little bit. I mean, she came to New York last week. It was the first time I saw her in person in like a couple of years. But yeah, we're all doing our own thing.
I heard about when you were talking about your stepfather and all that, I couldn't relate a woman saying, watching, because where we come from, basically, we are babied until we are out, in the sense that a woman, if you're not married, you're not moving anywhere.
Right.
Yeah, right. So it was a surprising thing for me, and I know that will hurt. If you need to go to therapy, I think you can go to therapy. There's a lot of us there. Since you come in New York, you might forgive, maybe you go low contact, but talk about it for your own healing as well.
No, for sure. No, I went through therapy. I did the no contact thing for like 2 years. So now we're rebuilding our relationship. But yeah, that is one thing. I think a lot of Nigerian women were maybe suspicious or upset at me when I first came out, because it's like, oh, she needed to she used him for a place to stay, and I'm like, it's not even about malicious intent, but it's just the reality of being in a location and not having anywhere to, like, a designated place to sleep. And so I guess I'm technically banned from my mom's house because her husband, he's like a very domineering sort of Haitian man, antisocial. And yeah, she just doesn't want to cause drama with him. But my mom has always been a strong mother, and she told him when they first met, like, I'm not going to choose anybody over my kids. But I think she's 67 now. So I think she was at a point where she was just didn't want to rock the boat and just maybe worried about her own survival. So it was a lot. And so that is why I think I would have been able to save up if I just had a parent's house to stay at. My dad lives here in New York, but he's a bad person, so not going to do that. It's a backwards move. But yeah, so I think it's very important for women to be supported in that way, where I think a lot of Nigerian women get spoiled by their dads or their families, which I think is a great thing.
You don't leave your home until you are getting married. It's like,
that level of support, like,
look, I kind of understand, but at the same time, we still have a lot of Nigerians where there are no parents, people hustling. I just know that Nigerians, Africans are the strongest people ever. I don't care anything anybody wants to say, but we're just like that. Like, that's just how we're made. And if you just have to be strong. If you are an African, and Nigerian own comes with a different level also. Do you understand? Where we're all, with history and everything, we know we're all packed in one place and everything, and the number, there's just so much. So even why am I saying this? Even for people that don't have parents and people don't really baby you until you have to leave, you know, there are certain things that you just don't do. And I feel like Jeba should have just thought this whole thing through instead of sticking with somebody like JD. You should have found other kind of people that you be squatting with, look for something to quickly start doing so you can raise money. I know it's not easy anywhere, it's not easy for anybody, but sticking it out with JD, as horrible as he is, then you should have just spent that 7 months in your father's house. That your horrible father, at least he's your father, let him be horrible there, and you're able to raise, at least eat free food, have roof over your head, work and save up enough money, because JD is another one now that you're going through another level of trauma. So you should have just stayed with the one that you're used to for that 7 months and set yourself up. So this doesn't really have anything to do with Nigerian women not understanding. And this came saying that you're babied until you're ready to move. There are people that left home and from like graduating from it's just that you're allowed back home. Nobody chases you to leave. But most times when people go to the university, we don't necessarily, a lot of people don't come back home that way as Nigerians. Once you go to university, from university, you're looking for what to do. You're out there, you're doing your thing. If it's to look for other people where you'll be sharing house rent, having roommates and doing your until you stand on your feet and you get a place of your own. So we're always just these hustlers that we try to stand on our own and do things. But of course, we're always welcome to our parents' home. And some of the parents, even up to when you're married, nobody's saying if the person you're married to is treating you very bad and your life is almost ending, you cannot move back. No, you can move back. Your parents are ready to give back the bride price and like, okay, all right, that's it. Give us back our child. We're fine here, you know but I don't think Jeba should have stayed with JD no matter what.
Do not have that out here.
Yeah, and you could see where Korra was coming from. As soon as she made a lot of money after being literally made homeless, she bought a house. She made sure she bought it in a good district and said, "My no man can ever send my daughters out of their home."
Ron, we as Nigerians, when I look at all the kind of the things that I see, for example, living in Europe here, the kind of things I see people do, and they refer to themselves as we have a career as this, I that, are things that we don't necessarily recognize. you know Certain things that you do, you'll be able to say, oh, this is what, we don't see it as anything. So there are type of professions that are really respected in Nigeria or even in Africa. One is doctor. Like if you're in medical line, that's you are respected. You are a lawyer, you are respected. You are an engineer, you are respected. A pilot is respected. You just certain and many more. Okay, I'm just pointing out few. These are people that are respected. You understand? So don't be surprised. Like in Nigeria, if your child, your daughter, or your son is studying medicine, from that day onward, nobody calls you by your name. Everybody calls you mama, doctor, papa, doctor. So you're referred to according to the career of your children and the respect that you receive, the respect that you get. So that's why you hear Korra calling Justin doctor, 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 because that's like, and that's one career that Nigerians love. We have a whole lot of doctors, like a whole lot of doctors and nurses and pharmacists and name it, like a lot, engineers and all this we have in Nigeria, a lot. So don't be surprised that she kept calling him doctor, doctor, and most of these other people too that follow him keeps Miriam, Lola, they keep referring to him as Dr. Justin Dean, Dr. Justin Dean, doctor, because that thing, doctor, it's a career that people really respect. So I think that's why Cora kept referring to him. Mm. Huh.
Always have a home. That is why he's fighting tooth and nail, in my opinion, to make sure she doesn't have a means to pay to be homeless, so that everybody will just be that. But he's not going to succeed, because you see why she's 30 days back open a business and all
Jeba is full
that,
of
and they are
excuses.
giving fake reviews. She posted her.
Crazy.
You did to this is like a court.
They have nothing to do.
Who? You said where is who from? Is it Jeba? Jeba is Haitian. She's from Haiti, but I think she's been in the U.S. for. I think she's a citizen because on one of her this thing where she showed her um where she said my things are not with me, my only form of identity, and then sorry, my only form of identification is this, and she showed I think her American passport. So um I believe she's been there for. So I think she's a citizen of. I don't know how they do it in the U.S., but yeah, Jeba is from Haiti, but I think she's probably came to the U.S. when she was little, or probably she was born in the U.S. or something like that. What's the state again that she mentioned? I forgot the state where she they say she's from. She's kind of from in the U.S., but yeah, but by birth by this anyway it's America anyway, everybody's from somewhere else. Everybody's from somewhere else, even the Oyimbos that are pretending that they are from there, they're also Europeans pretending they are America. So America is a country, everybody comes from somewhere else, but some people want to claim it to be their land. They refer to others as strangers, you know. So yeah. Mm. But one thing I noticed with JD is the fact that JD picks people that are really going through something. Because when Jeba mentioned how terrible her father was, allegedly, Jeba's words, I don't know because I've not heard her father's side of the story, and talked about her mother's husband. Let me not say new, I don't know if it's new or old. Her mother's husband, which is her stepfather, how terrible that one too is, and the issues she was having with her. Listen, the person that came to my mind is the other lady now that is JD's friend, the Belgium woman that speaks French, that he was interviewing, that she was talking about how her father unalived her mother right in front of her when she was 8 years old, and how she raised herself and what. So JD kind of picks these people that have gone through traumatic stuff in their life and are still trying to navigate and those are the kind of people he picks because they're still trying to figure themselves out and see how they're gonna get through this whole thing that they've been going through. And then boom, this is what we see, so whew, it's horrible.
I think it's literally like he is Trump and they are just following whatever he says. He can do no wrong.
He just when he comes and say that, they say, "Oh, poor farm boy. Oh, poor farm boy. Oh, Korra didn't know. Korra is more this." He called. He could ask you to do that for him in his nya. This is when he came out. You know how he came out. Do you know how he came out? He came out literally talking about 9 days after the birth of his child. He came out to say that the wife's private is as big as a clubhouse.
What?
That was how he came out. Did you know that is the video?
Ron M, Korra, if you're looking at it that way, Korra is not a dancer. Before a dancer, Korra studied what? What, accountancy or something related to other people that worked in the bank and whatnot, something like that. But Justin keeps referring to Korra as just somebody that dances and shakes her nyash, and he knows why he's doing that. You know why? Because he knows that as Nigerians or as Africans, we're not too much. It's even getting better now. We're not too much into, I was watching, somebody was interviewing a Nigerian that I think stayed in US, and I think it was Charlemagne or something. And Charlemagne was shocked when the Nigerian lady said they were making like jokes, and it was like, tell me something, yes, why not, or God forbid, or something like that. Very funny video. And the lady would, kind of say it the way a Nigerian parent would say it. And when he asked about arts, uh, and the lady said, "We don't even call it arts; we call it art." And she was, with the accent and everything, she was talking about it. But the point was like, that's not something that we recognized in those days. Our parents, you're gonna be what? You want to be an artist, any form of like in this entertainment industry, you want to start painting, drawing. That's nonsense, complete BS. Like you in fact, your parents would just start crying that they gave birth to a useless child. You want to be a footballer. There are just things that were nonsense, like complete rubbish in their eyes. Like, you don't do that. You must go to the university or polytechnic or something to study something reasonable that people are going to respect. So JD knowing fully well that if he comes out and says that Korra went to school, Korra studied something, people will respect Korra. So he presents her as a dancer so that her fellow Nigerians and Africans will just look at her as this person that did not go to school. She's not educated, but Korra is educated. Korra studied either accountancy or something like that. So you see the way Justin is telling the story. So before Korra became a dancer, and that's a normal thing that you have to do, you know. It doesn't matter whatever you want to do, you will go to that school, study, get that degree, bring it home, then you can now go and do the other things that you want to do. That's how it works. That's how it works. So, but Justin on purpose would not say that part of Cora's life. That's why he said if social media ends, Cora will not have anything, which is a lie. She has a degree that she can go to work. Remember, she said her father tried to get her a job in a bank or something like that. When she did that interview, she mentioned it, but he knows what he's doing, so he never says that part of the story, you know.
After she gave birth, the 9 days after the birth, oh, like, we can't go. Come back another day. Let's do this another day.
Please, right. Oh,
let's do this another day, please.
Okay. Well, what I will just say to people who are online,
Exactly.
the internet works in mysterious ways. If I guess I'm just trying to figure out what the best end game is for Korra, because I'm like, what? Like, if it is that it would be in the best interest of the kids to have this man deemed unfit to parent, I'm happy to help get that information to her. But yeah, I think I've been a little slow in sharing information because I don't want to necessarily rock the boat until I know that is what their other parents want.
Yes.
Yeah.
So do you see? Let me ask again. Do you see how some Jews, you know, when you drop that nasty,
I think you're talking about Nollywood, because Bollywood is Indian, their movie industry. So yeah, it's Nollywood. Yeah. It's Nollywood, Hollywood, Nollywood, Bollywood, Gollywood. And which other wood? Kennywood.
is that
Okay, so that's actually the end. They're just laughing, and this is it's actually 2 hours, and we've been here for 3 hours, 50 minutes, almost 4 hours. I wanted y'all to listen to everything before we go. It's past 1 a.m. my time, and that's it. You know, Jeba doesn't look like Jeba is stopping anytime soon, and we're going to uh keep following the story that Jeba is telling. Seriously, I feel like this revelation that Jeba made is really shocking. And we will see what else Jeba has to say. But if you're just joining us, you will have to watch from the beginning. So she said America was born from Haitian parentage. Okay, that's what Jeba said. So we will keep following Jeba's story, and we will see where this thing is going. Is JD ever going to respond? We don't know. But this is deep. Okay. I feel like this revelation, this expose that Jeba did, you know, it is a lot. Mm-hmm. 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 Mm. Yeah. Yeah, of course, that's the thing. A lot of people that will leave from this thing, you will see them just in the US or Europe or anywhere, like living from Nigeria or these African countries. They just go, and you would not know if they are famous or not, because they can just blend easily, except they meet their people. And it's big, so sometimes you don't really get to meet your people that will recognize you and say, oh, that's this person. Even our politicians, they can go to the US and just blend easily, and you wouldn't even know that that's a politician and whatnot, or respected person or influential person in in the country. But if you look at Cora's old photos and what are the kind of people, kind of places, kind of things, you know that Cora has been hustling, doing her thing, but JD, he knew That's why he did all he could to rubbish her, to make people feel like she wasn't worth anything. Thank you all so very much. I have to go right now. It's past 1 a.m. I'll see you all tomorrow, God willing, if I can. So we'll come in and we gist. Okay, we'll have a gist, a hot gist. We don't know what else Jeba is going to drop, but yes. Thank you all so very much. It's already Sunday the 17th over here. So I will see you all. Thank you also very much. For those of you coming for the very first time, if you've not subscribed, subscribe, turn on notifications so you can join us here to analyze and dissect. Just as I said, but will Jabba had come out to say all this if he had worked the way she planned? No, she won't have. And she even said it on this interview. Now. She said it that if he had given her that clean transition that she was looking for, all of this wouldn't be happening now. So of course, coming out to call her a thief and those things he said was what prompted Jeba to start talking, or else Jeba would have just left the way Summer left. Summer really didn't. Summer was just giving subliminal what online, but never came out and called JD out on anything. But I believe she heard a lot and saw a lot and knows a lot also because she dated JD, right? So, but Summer has never really come out to speak about JD. So I think all of these things put together gave him the effrontery to come out and bash uh Jeba. But then now Jeba is fighting back by not keeping quiet. So thank you also very much for joining me today. Subscribe, turn on your notification bell if today is the first time you're joining us. We do celebrity gist to analyze. We keep it positive. We call a spade a spade. We say things as they are. We don't sugarcoat. We know they look face. We know they look with your face. We know they fear anybody face. Who be that? Who be that? Who did that? Who they breathe? Who them be? Okay, so we'll keep following the story as this whole thing is unraveling as Jeba is singing like a canary bird. We'll keep following it. So thank you also very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. God bless you. God bless you. You're going out and you're coming in. May God guide and protect you. I know that different time zone. Some of us are going to bed. Some of you, it's your afternoon, your evening, whatever the time is. May God guide and protect you, your family members, and your loved ones. I pray for good health, sound mind, prosperity, everything you dip your hands to do, may it be successful. When others are saying there is a casting down, you will be saying there is a lifting up. God bless you immensely. I don't take the time that you people come here to spend with me, to gist, we dissect, we give our 2 cents concerning whatever topic we are discussing. I don't take it for granted, and I pray that God Almighty bless you all. God bless you. Much love. Thank you so very much, my king and my queens. God bless you. Love you all so much. I'll see you all on our next live stream and remain blessed. Okay. May God prosper you, bless you immensely. Thank you all so much. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Yes. Amen. Amen. God bless you too, sir. Thank you all so very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I'll see you all tomorrow when we'll be discussing something else concerning this situation. Bye for now and take good care of yourselves.